Hello. I gotta show you something real quick. Hi. There's a lot of furs in this boy. What you got there? I can't really put my headphones on. You got double biscuits? You're doing double biscuits for me. Wow. How's your time off work been? It's been okay. Are aliens edible? Maybe. We don't know yet. We'd have to find some first. You want to get down? Okay. Are we rereading all of Homestuck? What? No, we won't. It's been good today. I don't feel like I got as much work done. Oh no, I don't have multiplayer access for the Lunar client. Thanks for reminding me, even though I'm not trying to use you. Really weird of you to do that. Let me go ahead and get all the filters back on to make it sound more gooder. There we go. All right. Oh, is it peaking? Just a little bit. Let's bring it down just a bit. You're very off center, yeah. How's it going? Sorry, my hair looks awful. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow, so you know, again, little bit late on some stuff. I did. Man, I could show you what I worked on today, but you're quite quiet. Really? I think the limiter's wrong. Is this better? You have a rugged, messy charm. I think I just look like I rolled out of bed. I wish, I don't know. I can't really think about, I can't really think of what haircut I'd want to have, you know? So I guess I'm just gonna do the same as I have. Because it's just like, you know? Hey, Twingmaster, how you doing? Think it's you waking up? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I've been awake for a bit. Do a mohawk? Well, the problem with the mohawk is I'm gonna be wearing this. You said mohawk, that might be something else, but broccoli cut, no. I also have very intense widow's peak, so the Monster Hunter grandpa cut, reverse mohawk, absolutely fucking not. Real suggestions, please. Night elf mohawk. I don't know what a night elf mohawk is. Let me look that up. Is it that long floppy one? Oh, like a Mr. T one. Sure. Go monk mode and get a tonsor? I'm alright, you know? That I'm alright. Can I show you what I've been working on? It kind of looks like porn. Chat with your barber? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to grow it out super long. side part, maybe. I don't know. See, that's the thing is like my hair is thick, but it don't do shit. I'm having a lot of problems with the everything working the way it ought to. Give me half a second and I'll show you. So I downloaded a skull off the internet because making one was really shit. Like I tried and I was like, there's no reason for me to try this hard to make a skull. And this is like, if I even go this angle with it, we're going to show you this and then we'll switch. But I worked on this some today, trying to get it to work, and like, it's fine. It just looks a little bit, porny right now. Bop. Blap. Like, I guess that looks okay. That's a lot of liquid. Yeah. I kind of wanted it to be more like a... Yeah, it kind of has like cum shot vibes, you know? This is for the game, yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to like get it to look right. But that's what I got so far. I mean, it animates beautifully. It's just too viscous. And turning down the viscosity... probably because it's got textureless white mass. Yeah, I mean, like, blap. Is it supposed to be? No, it's supposed to, okay, so the monster in the game can, like, spray the same stuff as a bombardier beetle. Let's look at a bombardier beetle real quick so you got an idea of what I'm talking about. Did we finish Look Outside? Not yet. No, I wanted to do that on a more regular stream time. If I stream at a weird ass time, people aren't going to know to show up, and then it might actually like tank the numbers on Look Outside in general. So, I figured let's not do that. I'm going to look up, like a, oop, guess I'm closing that. Bombardier beetle. There we are. Supposed to be like a kind of acid squirt. Yeah, here we go. Some PBS for you. Squart. I mean, he does a little tiny one.
The bombardier beetle is one of nature's most improbable creatures. For some, it throws a monkey wrench into the whole idea of evolution.
What was with that depth of field blur? That's cum? It looks like cum right now. The video is very quiet. What is with my audio today?
That cloud you see is the result of a lightning-fast chemical reaction inside his body. When attacked, the beetle sets off the explosion, releasing a boiling hot,
the Wilhelm scream
poison that sends his enemies running. He can even aim it. This potent mixture inside the beetle is made up of 3 main ingredients. Mix the first 2 of them together and nothing happens, but throw in the third and boom.
There's apparently some debate on whether or not there's that third chemical or whatever.
So the beetle has a trick. He keeps these ingredients separate inside his body.
It's like when you get like the 2-part adhesives. That kind of is how it works.
From an evolutionary standpoint, that's what's interesting. In fact, people have been scratching their heads over this for decades. How did this complex system evolve over time?
You know,
Wouldn't
probably
earlier
pink.
generations of beetles have blown themselves up like a bunch of amateur bomb makers?
Oh, God.
To some, this beetle's very survival is proof that the whole theory of evolution is wrong. But it turns out there is a way this system could have evolved gradually. Remember that third ingredient? It's an enzyme. It's like a spark. It sets the explosion in motion. And enzymes evolve. At first, maybe this one wasn't so dangerous. But gradually, it became more potent. more specialized, more explosive, as the beetle's body changed to contain it.
Yeah, it doesn't make things
Scientists at
good.
UC Berkeley
I guess
are
that's a
trying
good
to
way of
figure
putting
out
it.
how
It makes
this
them less
system
bad.
came together. They think one of those explosive chemicals evolved from the same raw
Blap.
materials as the beetle's shell. That happens a lot in evolution. It's called exaptation, one body part repurposed for something else.
Wiggles.
The improbable bombardier beetle. Living proof that what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. Hi again, it's Amy. I hope you think Deep Look is the bomb. If so, subscribe.
Oh, there we go.
Click that button and join us. Every 2 weeks, you'll have a new episode. Bang, done. Thank you.
So this stuff is like, it's what they didn't really mention is it's like 101 degrees Celsius or like 200 something Fahrenheit once it comes out. It also is made out of like I forget what it's called, like it's like hydrochlorine and like something else is the other chemical. The end result is it is like a boiling acid spray. It's very short, like he does it in tiny little squirts, because if he keeps going, the heat, like because of the way he's wiggling his ass, it changes the hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide. There it is. And combined, they make something that starts with a B that I'm not even going to try and pronounce. And it makes just like a boiling gas spray, which is pretty fucking cool. But yeah, so that's what that do. I want my guy to do that, but like bigger and scarier, because he's bigger and scarier. So like, I would like for this spray to be more like,
Beetle's
you know,
very survival and specialized, more explosive in it. Scientists how this system came together. They think one of releasing a boiling release. When attacked, the beetle sets off the explosion, releasing a
probably need to change the view mode to get a more accurate look-like effect. I love that they use the Wilhelm scream for that. But yeah, that's what it do. But that really just, like, the animation I've got just does not look right. It's too goopy. I mean, like, I guess it could be more like a napalm, but that's really not what I'm going for. It has this weird penis orb over there that's not a penis. But this just looks like this just looks like a cum shot. You know? Like, it's weird. I also can't get the animation to work sometimes. It just didn't want to do that. It's more of a mist than a goop. That's the problem. You're looking for a maybe I should, instead of doing like fluid, maybe I do like smoke. Yeah, let's give that a go. Let's try that real quick. And do the simulation on gas. Bake all. And then my computer locks up for a minute while we try and figure that out. But we've got this video to watch. Oh. Oh, okay. Is this Mokita? Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be multi-track drifting, but it's not. Let's go with the ones that we did. Fingertips. These are ones that were recommended on the Discord. I haven't seen the original, so I don't know what the context is. You have 5 seconds to not be shit. I'm sorry on that one. Yeah!
A palace's cat. He has the densest fur of any cat in the world. Nonetheless, to keep warm, he must catch up to 5 rodents a day.
Okay. These guys are great. We will see a rat or two get killed, unfortunately, but...
Top of the menu are voles.
Aw, voles.
And gerbils.
And gerbils. I forget that wild gerbils exist.
Relative to body size, Palace's cats have one of the shortest legs of any cat.
Look at those eyes, just pinpoints.
And that helps by giving them a low profile when stalking. But it's not so good for wading through deep snow.
This is an actual famous narrator. This is David Attenborough, or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Never mind, there are plenty more.
Did we tweet, skeet, and ping?
Stay focused.
I pinged. I tweeted. All right, blue skeeted. Yeah, I just didn't even think about that. I did skeet. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, no, I did.
Unfortunately, the longer he's out in the snow, the colder his paws become.
I feel it, my dude. Like, look at those beans, dude.
And he has only one way to get the blood circulating again.
There's skeet on your webcam. Yeah, I mean, I wish that these guys were babies you could just pick up and pet and then let go and let them be wild animals, but unfortunately they're wild animals. Sound effects added in post. Once I found out they did that, it kind of destroyed a lot of these videos for me.
Only 1 hunt in 3 by a Palace's cat is successful.
Wow.
No wonder he has the reputation of being the grumpiest cat in the world.
Baby. Great video. Good choice.
Karen, can you begin today's lesson on the dinosaur?
Dinosaur
Sure, Tommy.
rap.
Let me just check my facts in the official, unabridged, illustrated encyclopedia dictionary reference guide to the dinosaurs.
Hey, Tommy. Hey, Karen. What you got to say is good, but you don't know how to say it, so I'll take we should. We got the facts. We got the figures and a whole lot more to tell you about.
You can choose something good for me to watch, too.
The world for 100 million years, and no one really knows why they disappeared. Long ago, when the world was on the blink, up and the dinosaur became extinct. We adore dinosaurs. We adore dinosaurs. For the fossils are the key to prehistory and help to solve the dinosaur mystery. A footprint in the ground, bones in the stone. The fossils tell us where when the dinosaur roamed. They lived on the land, but not in the sea. So are smaller than a turkey. Some were bigger than a tree. Now I can tell you something that'll make you smile. The dinosaurs related to the crocodile. We adore
Teabagging dinosaurs.
We adore dinosaurs.
No, they're aware that.
May we ask the brothers Ali are the names of the
Oh, yeah, it
dinosaur
might be why they didn't know.
Yo, Tom, yo, Karen, we know them so well. We're gonna ask the dinosaurs.
1989.
I'm Boris, the Barosaurus. I'm Pops, the Triceratops. He's Igor, the Ultrasaur. She's Nora, the Myosaur. I'm Linus, the Lycorhinus. I'm Gus, the Diplodocus. She's Zorus, the Fabrasaurus. And that's Laura Lee, the Homo That was great.
Can you tell us, please,
Which are the dinosaur celebrities?
Woos, thank you for the raid, my dude.
I'm the one that you most adore. I'm that funny looking long neck brontosaur. They say that I'm a good Samaritan. The brontosaur is strictly vegetarian. They say I'm dumb, no fans or buts.
Jesus fuck, y'all. Why? I'll be honest with you, a lot of this shit is like, you can barely understand some of the raps they're doing, and I don't know why they've made this.
My brain is the size of a walnut with spikes and scales like a plate of armor. I'm a humpback little leg stegosaur.
Now this dinosaur's a pain in the neck. I'm the mean-looking bitch to Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I'm sorry, I'm the mean-looking bitch?
Looking bitch to Tyrannosaurus Rex. The mean-looking bitch to Tyrannosaurus in the neck. I'm the mean-looking bitch to Tyrannosaurus
Okay. Alright.
Rex. Oh, bitch, I'm bad. I can eat you in a bite. I'm a pack of dinosaur dynamite. Now you can rap to the dinosaur beat. Cause there's plenty other dinosaurs for you to meet. There's one in store at the library or museums of natural history. Now Tom,
None of that rhymed. Can we just mention how none of this is fucking rhyming?
Buddy join us one more time. The dinosaur giants. We adore dinosaurs.
Big Tooth dinosaur, not bitch. Okay, that's fair. We're done with that. I don't need this life, man. We watched most of it.
What is life like as a stomach?
Oh, boy, it was humdrum. I mean, until what's-his-name discovered Tony's Pizza.
Tony's Pizza?
Yeah, I was suffering from the pizza cravings until Tony's came along.
They had a course and nothing else. Maybe that's when you scrapped the song.
What's that?
Another pizza craving. Just thinking about Tony sets it off.
Oh, where are you going?
He's going to get a Tony's Pizza, and I follow him anywhere.
Does your stomach send you pizza craving signals? Oh, wow. Tony's, the Pizza Cravers Pizza. Available at the concession stand.
Oh. Oh, I need to learn more about David Lynch, so this will be good. I like the idea that he was this weird freak man that everyone adored. Like, I love that. Like, that's kind of what I'm talking about when I'm like, I aim to be weirder and more fucking insane. Like, I want that energy in my life.
And the next time I smoked dope, Bob Dylan was playing, you know, at this big place right down the street. And so, lo and behold, out of
American Spirit too.
In this, you know, auditorium kind of thing, which was real steep. I was way in the back. Out of all those seats, when I sat down, there was this girl sitting next to me that I'd just broken up with.
Oh, that's
and
awkward.
Bob Dylan came out on the stage.
What you making?
I couldn't believe how little he was. And I measured him with my fingers on my knee, and I said to her, his jeans are only this big. Then I measured his guitar. I says, his guitar is only this big.
Are you high?
I didn't dig in the music. It was so far away. So I wanted to get out of there really bad. Then when the concert was over and Peter came back with a bunch of his friends, he said, nobody walks out on Dylan. I said, I walk out on Dylan. Get the fuck out of here. And so that was the end of Peter is my roomie.
What the fuck? Were you confused?
I just didn't want to be, you know, anywhere in this world that was, you know, now my world.
What?
Walk out on Dylan. Get the fuck out of here. And so that was the end of
okay, so you left?
And I wasn't even digging the music. It was so far away.
The music was so far
I wanted
away.
to get out of there.
Okay.
Really bad. Then when the concert was over and Peter came back with a bunch of his friends, he said, nobody walks out on Dylan. I said, I walk out on Dylan. Get the fuck out of here. And so that was the end of Peter is my roomie.
He got high and didn't like the music. You know how fucking hard that is? I mean, it's Bob Dylan.
You know, anywhere in this world.
Here, give me a second to remember what Bob Dylan sounds like for a second. Tambourine Man. Knocking on Heaven's Door. Okay, give me a second. I gotta mute the audio so I don't get copyright striked. I'm gonna listen to a little bit of Knocking on Heaven's Door, which is one of his more popular songs. I thought this was a Guns N' Roses song. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. They covered it, yeah. It was kind of awful. This is like prime getting high music. Like, for the time, like, it's not what I would listen to, but like, he's not my thing, you know? Like, that's not my jam at all. So I'm kind of with him on this one.
You know, now my world.
What kind of fucking weed was he, like, what was he smoking? No.
Hi there, boys and girls. My name is Watchdog. Before we get started with our
Do you have a gun?
TikTok Let's Talk, we'd like to tell you just a few things. You'll be listening to my friends,
Oh, right.
MC Monkey, and of course the Habit Rabbit. Clarker the Clown doesn't sing, but he's going to show you all kinds of things about clocks and watches. Don't forget to look over your booklet because
Can you
it's
just
a
keep
coloring
hi-fi
book,
on?
and you'll find some important words that you'll be learning in our program to help you with your reading skills. Don't forget to color the booklet with any colors you like and have fun. There's also some special information about our program for your mom and dad, brother or sister, or any grown-up who takes care of you to read. And of course, we've got a
Is this
special
fucking
offer for
analog
you
horror or
here.
is this real?
Now relax.
Because this is
and
bad.
enjoy our program.
But it's got
You'll meet
like,
a lot of our new friends, and they're eager to meet you.
I think it's just
too.
a damaged
Let's go.
VHS.
Hey, Rabbit. What's wrong?
Please don't rap.
I don't know how to tell the time.
Come on, Rabbit. I can teach
Why?
you how.
Why is that a fucking issue? What do you care? It's not that big of a deal. It's not worth crying about. Give you something to fucking cry about, you stupid ass rabbit.
Oh, I want to
You're
know.
not listening, man. Come on, time is easy. All you gotta do is watch.
Okay, I'll watch.
My name is Watchdog.
Right.
Dog.
I'm gonna
Oh, those are his
tell
legs.
the time. You see, the sun goes up and the sun goes down, and Mother Earth goes around and around. A day goes by and a new day comes, and it's all about time.
It's all about time. All about time.
Come on, relax.
Is this from the
Time to
show
get
Rev
up,
Stuff or
and it's
Media
time to
Share
eat.
thread? This is from the
Time to
Media
go
Share
to bed
thread.
And to dress your feet. It's time to go to school, and it's time to play, and it's all about time.
All about time. I want to know how to tell the time.
Yeah, I gotta do a stupid rap first, kid. Hold on.
I know you want to know how to tell the time, because your mommy and your daddy do it all the time. They know when to come,
Time and time.
they know when to go, because it's all about time.
It's all about time. It's all about time. And I'm going to learn how to tell my time.
It's all about time. I'm going to learn how to make it mine. From the clock on the wall to the watch in my hand, it'll always be all about time.
Yeah, we're skipping white people rapping horribly.
You nerd! Yeah, what are you looking at?
That was very natural.
Nothing. Oops. We should call you Dumbo. I mean, look at your ears. Yeah, elephant ears. Have you ever been bored?
Yeah, honestly, his ears are fucking weird. Your ears are fucking weird, kid. Not you, him.
Humiliated and scared by someone bigger, stronger, or older than you?
Do you want to do anything about that?
My share of war is on the basketball court.
What?
But the last place you want to be at war is on the street.
Being bullied isn't fun. That's why it's important for you, all of us, to become street smart. That's one way to avoid a bully, but not a very good one. Avoid clothing that might make you look like you're part of a gang. Avoid areas...
What fucking gang wears fucking pullover? Like, what is...
where bullies are known to hang out.
Tony's gonna be our bully today. If I stand this way towards Tony, then he has all these areas that he can hit me.
You got something on your shirt. Hey, you got something on your shirt.
That's right. Oh, don't stop. Don't come any closer.
What do you want? I was just wondering what we did in math.
Most bullies are going to be larger, stronger, and better fighters than you. Never be ashamed to run. We will teach you some stun techniques and dirty tricks.
Hey, we want you to...
Leave me alone.
We just wanted you to...
I said leave me alone. Pretty good, huh?
Be careful not
Yeah, no, you immediately got grabbed. The fuck?
to grab the hair loosely. It will make the hair pull less effective. Wade, can you show us?
Okay, 101 of dealing with like any sort of combat situation is, first off, get your hands up, right? Now, in normal conversation, this is a very weird way to talk. You'll notice cops do this thing sometimes. They'll be like, oh, gesturing with one hand, but the other hand is like kind of near the, you know, collar or whatever. The reason they do that is because that way their hands are up and ready, right? Because that's like a good, like, obviously not like this because, but you know, you got to be ready to be able to block yourself and defend yourself. You also want to back away from the person that's trying to attack you, because like, as much as it seems like it would be a thing where like I would encourage you guys to fight, the fight you wins is the fight you don't fight. Like, get the fuck out of there. Fucking bolt, dude. If someone is thinking that they can take you, there's a chance they could. And if you're not a fighter, you're probably not winning that fight. They may be wrong. But get some space between you and them, especially if that's what your law, you know, says. But do not fucking approach them. Do not give them a handhold. Like, what is this thing we're doing? Like, this is a that's exactly what I would do. Yeah, you can get hit in such a way that you just fucking die, you know? Like, if your head hits the concrete wrong, you fucking bleed out and die on the street because you think they're going to actually make sure that you're, like, safe and okay. They're trying to mug you or beat you up or whatever. A lot of fights do end up on the ground because someone trips at some point. Your legs are not... You should not kick. You should not be fucking kicking. Like... Because, like, you don't know how to kick properly, and you don't know how to move properly, both of which require your legs. And if you're trying to do a kick and you can't get out of it, you're fucked. It's very easy to catch a kick if someone doesn't know how to throw a kick. If you know how to throw a kick, then you already know what you're talking about, and I don't need to explain this shit to you. But, like, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, don't do that. Like, keep your feet so that way they... What if they just grab your leg? Exactly, that's bad. Keep your legs like shoulder width apart, roughly, and be ready to be able to move them in any direction. It means don't cross them, you know? Don't go like that while you're trying to back away, because people will do this. If you cross your legs, this moment, you have no forward or backward momentum.
Love to.
Yeah,
We want you to each make a fist. But we don't want to teach you how to punch. Instead, we feel a slap is more effective. Another effective slap
I mean, honestly,
is to the bully's groin.
slap is not a bad idea.
Once you've stomped on the bully's foot, run away, and we guarantee that he will be slow to follow. Wait.
All right.
Biting is another simple technique.
Yeah, I mean, slapping isn't as bad as you think. Like, slapping actually does do a significant amount of damage. It's still, like, it's not balled up like a club, but it's still, like, have you ever been slapped by someone who knows how to fucking slap? It's real. What? Oh. Why did you fall on the fucking ground? Like, I've seen someone get slapped so hard that a blood vessel burst in their eye. You know? And so, like, their eye went red. Like, the scleria went red on one side. You can get really fucked up from a slap.
Wade, would you like to try?
Sure.
Don't roll over on your stomach, because the
Don't be on the fucking ground. Unless if you know how to, like, win a ground battle, do not be on the fucking ground.
bully will grab your head and bounce it off the sidewalk. Throw the candy in his face, and
Yeah, honestly, randomly throwing, like, whatever shit you've got on you that isn't, like, important to you, you could just throw at someone. I've done that before to win a fight. I got into a fight once, I threw, like, a bottle at the guy, you know, threw some water at him. And that was enough to make him not be able to, like, I mean, like, if someone throws something at you, your initial reaction is just like, what? You know? And then you can punch them really hard, which is what I did. That works. That wins you a fucking fight. Well, it's my brother, so it's fine.
gives me enough time to run. All I have to do is throw the water right in his face.
Honestly, not a bad idea.
If a bully is approaching you, you've got a magazine, just roll it up, hit him, and run.
Leave me alone.
We just wanted you to...
I said leave me alone.
Get some space between you and the other guy, dude. What?
Trouble, huh?
Not a bad idea to slap.
After any of the stun techniques.
Honestly, a lot of these, like, they may not be right. Some of this might work. I wouldn't recommend this fight tactic, but it might work.
Run like you've never run before.
Running is good. Like, when you get him on the ground, fucking finish the job. If it's a 1v1, that was a 1v2. But a 1v1, kick him in the fucking face. End the fight. Kick him in the fucking eye as hard as you can. If someone is trying to mug you, they have decided that it is rule of beast at that point. Then it's just like, you have to decide what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Like, someone might die. Is it going to be you or him?
I tried all these free drawing apps so you don't have to. Then I rated them on a tier list based on how good they would be.
I think
for
I've seen
someone starting
her
out with digital art. But
do
even if you've been
shorts.
trying digital art for a while, you might want to try out something different. But there are so many options to choose from.
That's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, by the way.
Write down what I think about them. We'll try Krita first. How about? This is
I
literally
like
my
Krita.
very first time opening Krita, so I have no idea what to expect. Okay, I'm gonna test a couple of brushes now. Ooh, I love this brush.
I
Okay,
like
so the
GIMP
default
for what it
brushes-
does.
I like them. 10 out of 10. So what does the liquefy brush look like? Oh, there it is. I mean, it's not great, but I think it does the job, right? Okay, we have a lasso tool, except I don't know how to make it work. How do I... Maybe I transform it and then move it? Transform tool. I guess that works. So Krita seems to be a perfectly competent little app. After changing a few hotkeys, I'm up in sketching already, so I don't mind this.
Yeah.
If I press Control plus Enter, I get a command palette of all Krita actions. Let me try.
It is left-handed, isn't it? Jesus.
Oh, that is everything. Oh, I like this!
Oh, it's like Blender.
This
You
one-
can
this
just
is
search a
like a
thing.
programming IDE. Gaussian blur. Oh, shoot! Wait, I love that. Wait, that's so cool. This is apparently
Why will I need to
free.
upgrade from GIMP? It does everything it needs to be.
So my overall impression of Krita, this is heavy software, okay? There's a lot going on. Krita has a lot of really cool brushes. In the default brush feel, it wins a lot. Like, I'd say this is like a 10 out of 10. It has so many brushes to mess around with, just default brushes. It basically had all of the features I expected for Krita. Like, if we go through here, Krita had layers, it had liquefy, it had lasso tool, transform, all these things, it had everything. Fantastic, okay? I'd say it's not the most intuitive software to begin with. It's very powerful. It can do a lot, but also it kind of lacks identity. It's kind of going in all directions. It can do a lot of things, and you're unlikely to use every single feature. The learning curve is, yeah, a little bit steeper than you'd expect, but at least
Very
it
interesting
has
way to
this.
color.
So here is the wildcard feature for Krita for me. It has a command selector. If you forgot how to do something like, oh, what do I do? You could just Gaussian blur if you don't remember what it is. Oh, Gaussian blur, easy peasy. And oh, it has a really cool colorize feature.
Yeah, what do
as
I need to
well, where
upgrade
instead of
from-
having to fill in flats very laboriously, you can just do something like this. Scribble in
Wonderful.
the colors, and it fills it in for you. Very cool.
That's very
I
cool.
would put Krita. You know what? We're starting pretty strong here, honestly. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
reluctant to give Krita like S right away, but dang, I would say Krita's a really good choice to get started with. All right, next up we have Metabang.
Never heard of this one.
Let's see what kind of brushes we have. Let's take a look here. So we have, like, you know, you can control your brush like this. That's pretty cool. Pencil rough. My initial impressions is that the brushes don't seem to be as nice as the
They're
ones
kinda
in
shit.
Krita right away. Sumi. Ooh, this is a cute pen. I like this one a lot.
That one's pretty good.
Okay, we have a textured watercolor brush too, so not bad.
Hmm.
They have a little bit too many options. Like, there was like 10 million pencil brushes that I thought was a little unnecessary because they all seem very similar. But now that we're getting to the painting brushes,
I've had like an old ass version of GIMP
Metabang seems
forever.
very simple
I
and
haven't
a little
bothered
bit more intuitive
upgrading.
than Krita. I mean, my personal preference is that there are HSB sliders, but it's not really a deal breaker that I don't have it.
Hmm.
Like, what the heck is a color bar? I don't even know who you are. Never seen you. Give me the color wheel. Like, the hotkeys make sense to me. Things are easy to customize. No complaints. So Metabang is a little bit annoying because as soon as you open it, it's like, hey, there's an ad. Hey, log in and stuff. Oh, you need to log in. I'm like, no. So I just want to draw, man. You don't gotta do this to me. I think the one major thing that's in favor of Metabang is that it's a lot more intuitive than Krita. If you're the kind of person who gets kind of overwhelmed by like really, really complicated software,
I like the way she draws her eye
Might be a better
bags.
fit than Krita.
It's something that I need to learn how to
Krita,
draw
I think
better.
It has a lot of really fantastic brushes. A lot of brushes, especially inspired by Japanese manga pens, right? We have the G pen, we got the mapping pen, we got the Kabura pen,
Turned out
the
well.
pen, school pen, drawing pen. We got so many pens here, and a bunch of cool pastel and paint brushes as well. And it's also a lot more lightweight than Krita. If you have like a weaker PC, Metabang Metabang might work better because it probably consumes less resources. That said, Metabang does not have liquefy. It has a mesh transform, which is kinda almost the same, but it's not the same. So it doesn't have liquefy. Like Krita, if you go through the features, it has layers, layer modes, lasso tool transform, pressure sensitivity, color pick, color wheel, everything works as expected. The brushes, I think.
Oh, animating in GIMP is horrid.
Almost as good as Krita. Krita has a little bit more selection, but it's 9 out of 10. It probably has anything you'd ever need. But I think where it really shines is that it is very easy to pick up and just start using. I'd say that Metabang,
yeah,
honestly, I think it's S.
GIMP is good for like photo editing or just like editing images and doing anything that Photoshop's supposed to do.
Slightly annoying. It's free.
Yeah, this is making me want to draw. I'm getting that itch. I don't really have anything I need to draw right now aside from like.
Dang thing, okay? Fire Alpaca is the same as Metabang as far as I'm concerned. If you want slightly more brush selection, choose Metabang. If you don't want to deal with the login screens and all the pop-ups, use Fire Alpaca. That simple. Okay, this is where it all goes downhill. GIMP.
It's not an art program though.
Pointer. I don't know what this means. Modules? Yeah, where is the color selector? Yeah, can I have this? Where's the color wheel? Where's the color wheel? Control? No. Maybe just Alt? No. Shift? No. I want to stop. I want to escape. Damn it!
Escape.
Can I just leave the scale tool? It doesn't seem to detect my tablets. I want to do something else.
I don't know if it has tablet stuff.
I can't get out. This is a disaster. I don't know how to leave the scale tool.
Escape.
These default docks? These are awful. I really can't leave. No, Saxon, not Help Step Pro. I'm stuck in the scale tool. Do not use this as a drawing app. I'm going crazy.
Yeah,
even
it's not a drawing app.
Could not get me out of the scale. I can't draw anymore. It's over.
Hold on. Yeah, you can just. Here's escape. Skill issue? Legitimately on this one?
It's over. I can't.
When did you make this? 4 months ago.
The unfortunate thing about GIMP is because it's an older piece of software, the tablet compatibility might not be so good.
That's not great, yeah.
So you might have the same problem I did, which is that I was not able to get pressure sensitivity to work here. That said, it pretty much had every feature you would expect. It had layer modes, it had liquefy, lasso tool, transform, everything except for, well, I couldn't get it to work, but if you're lucky,
that's skill
it'll
issue.
Work. All the stuff, it had all the features.
GIMP's UI is very different. Yeah, I'll say
GIMP
that.
Is very, very clearly photo editing software.
Yeah.
If we look at the brushes, they are very limited. You're not going to have the same selection and choice as
it's not a great art program.
Let's say Krita or
it's the final step of your art.
The big advantage is we have this amazing pepper brush.
Okay? Yeah, which I don't know why that exists.
We don't have many oil paint brushes or air brushes or like watercolor brushes.
GIMP does not suck.
And because
skill issue, chat. Skill issue.
It's photo editing software. Like, when you first enter GIMP, even the color wheel isn't here. You have to go to Windows and mess around with dialogues. You have to spend like ages just kind of dragging windows around to get a sensible layout. Like the color wheel isn't even shown initially. And what's more, why does the color wheel do this? Why is my color wheel doing backflips? Why? I'm so confused. I like my color wheel facing this way specifically, right? You want it more saturated, you move to the left. You want it less saturated, you move to the right. Simple. Yeah, this is a wild card feature. It's not a good feature. It's just wild. Ease of use, really hard. Intuitive. It's not intuitive at all. Customizability, shortcuts, well, it being open source software, I think there's quite a high level of customizability. You can change your preferences, you can change
There's a lot of
you can
customization.
change everything you want, I think. So extremely customizable if you're a
GIMP
real
is,
power user.
I don't want to give
work.
Adobe
really love the
money
brush, you could make things
for
happen with this,
Photoshop.
but as a beginner, I don't think I'd be messing with GIMP.
No,
honestly.
this is not an art program.
GIMP is
Not
D
in the
tier,
way.
sorry, easily.
Photopea? Never heard
Let's
of
see
it.
how it feels to draw something with this. Okay, I guess we have liquify. That's crazy. I can't use any of the hotkeys I'm accustomed to, so it's gonna be a little messy, but we'll try it out. It's not like I can't draw.
Yeah,
on this.
I mean,
can definitely
true,
draw on
yeah.
this. Okay, let's change the brush.
It's not a good art program. If we're rating it as an art program, it's bad.
It's kind of fun. Let's rotate it a bit. Let's change the angle just a little bit, like that. I think I like that, and reduce the size.
That's neat.
Now we have a kind of cute brush for inking, right? Brushes overall, I think the variety of brushes obviously isn't as good as most other software. This will do the job. Just not a very good job, you know what I mean? Maybe not?
Her line work's great, dude.
It doesn't have a gap fill kind of feature, so I actually have to do it with the... Ah, that's so annoying! It doesn't have a gap fill feature, so I have to kind of do it by hand. So I think the nicest thing about Photopea is kind of familiarity. If we look at all the features here, Photopea has everything. Layers, layer modes, lasso tool.
What the fuck do I use? Like, what's the fuck? Oh. Oh, that's what you did. I mean... Okay. And... It kind of looks like it might be a skull as well. No, it's just a sphere that's being... No, it is an... No, it's just getting caught on that. All right. What the fuck are you? Surface emission, source normal, aim for the... It kind of needs to go down a bit. The... Density? Decrease density? I mean, this is just not right. I don't think that smoke is what I want. I think I would want a liquid. I don't really know what fire does. Let's try fire. Rebake it. Do it again. Better. All right, anyway.
Boiling hot steam.
Wait, not you.
Most of these software actually do. If you've used other photoing software, it's fairly intuitive and easy to use. The one problem it has is that I don't think pressure sensitivity is immediately enabled, so you have to press a few buttons to make sure pressure sensitivity is actually active. Like you have to go here, you have to go here, you have to go to tip dynamics, you have to do this. And there's one other major problem. If you move your windows around and stuff, they don't actually keep what you've changed from session to session. You'll have to redo it every single time.
Oh.
And while you can save your brush controls, there's a couple of...
I'm down to accept new video suggestions. We're not doing a whole bunch today. I'm just gonna try and wrap up what we got here, and then we can do other stuff tomorrow, perhaps.
Hoops you have to jump through in order to do that. One thing where GIMP does better than Photopea is that Photopea has zero customizability. Oh, you want to change the shortcut? Too bad. You can't. I guess Photopea is handy because it works in the browser, so you don't need to install anything, and that's nice.
That's cool.
I feel like if you're seriously getting to digital
I'll
art,
link the video.
You probably want to install something, right? Is this better than GIMP?
Awful link incoming.
Yeah, it's better than GIMP, but not by much for drawing specifically. If you're making shit posts, it's S tier. If you're drawing, I don't think I could recommend this.
You can change the shortcuts? She may not have just noticed.
Isn't exactly free, but it's a free hour every day, and it's like, you know...
A free hour every day? I think I have this on my phone.
The basic brushes seem alright to me. Dip, pen, bleed. This one seems to have a nice texture.
Yeah, I've got Ibis Paint on my phone. It's cute. It's a good drawing program for your phone. It's not...
What's so lovely about this
great, But
I don't
it
know, I'll have it
works
too.
if you want to be able to draw some shit on your
A
phone.
lot of pens that are inspired by manga. So how happy
What
my
an
VTuber
insane
looks when I draw
fucking
them in the
marketing
app is how
thing.
good I generally feel about the app. So Ibis Paint seems good. I like it. Yeah, out of the box, everything just seems to work. That's great. But technically, this isn't free on PC, so okay, I can just do this. Wow, that is very that's a very mobile
Light?
app vibe, shall we say. We'll put another layer on top. We'll take this and make it less visible. But it does come with some advantages to being a mobile first app. For one, the interface is like super clean, right?
You might be better off with
Hey,
Metabang.
scribble pen. Look how fun this brush is. I love this brush. Look at that. Look at that.
That's a
We're gonna mess with
weird
it.
brush, man.
It's a pretty comfortable drawing experience, not gonna lie. Mostly because of its simplicity. It is nice that it's so simple. Ibis Paint had an incredible selection.
It does
of
have some
brushes.
really
That
nice
this app
brushes
was
by
very,
default,
very
and it's
clearly
pretty easy to
designed for
switch
the,
them out.
Android and iPad, so then there are a lot of things like, oh boy, like you want to change hotkeys, you want to make it customizable? No, you can't. There are a couple of pre-built-in shortcuts, like I can zoom by doing the scroll wheel, but changing the brush size, I think I can kind of very slowly do it with the square bracket keys. There's a lot of things that you just can't do with hotkeys, like you can't even click on the scroll bar here. You have to kind of swipe like you were doing it on an iPad, which feels a little bit weird in my opinion if you're on a PC. If you prefer and don't mind a mobile interface, Ibis Paint actually makes a lot of sense. It's super intuitive. It's just not very customizable. Like there's actually no settings anywhere where I can see to change your hotkeys. You're just kind of like stuck with
I'm not
how they
interested in
want you to
dual
do
survival,
things.
Billy, but thank you.
So I think because of that, for Ibis Paint, I'll kind of give it a B tier. I feel like it's kind of middle of the road. I think it would rate higher for mobile usage, like for iPad and Android tablets.
Yeah, I
But
mean, for a
PC,
tablet, it's
having
fine.
a mobile app here just feels a little bit awkward to me. Okay, next up we have Paint. I mean, do I really gotta open this?
Hey, Paint.
Dude, did you know MS Paint has crazy brushes like this? You thought Paint was just pixels and stuff? No, I can get a proper painting in here. Look at this stuff, dude. How do I move this around? Oh, easy, dude. Dude, Paint is so good. It's so good, actually. This is the easiest thing in my life.
Paint is not that
There's clearly
bad.
no liquefy here. Do we even
Yeah.
have a color pick here? Do we have color pick?
You do. You have to go into edit
Oh, we do
colors.
have an eyedropper. All right. I don't think there's a hotkey for it though, so.
There's
Okay, I hate
not.
this color picker, but like we're gonna have to work
Yeah,
with it.
it's the color
We got
picker is
no
pretty
layers,
rough.
We got no nothing, but I'm sure we can make it work somehow, yeah? Okay. Oh boy, it's actually hard as hell to draw with just like this, actually. I'm having the hardest time
Oh,
right
it's
now.
pretty rough, yeah. It's just very
how do people draw with
basic.
one layer? I feel like I could do it if I was just doing
Oh, they
one
added
layer painting,
layers?
but
That's
now I have
awesome.
this. Well, whatever, I'll just do my best. Is there some way of like color picking hotkeys? No? Okay, I guess not. Okay, I guess not. All right, that's fine, I guess. I guess that's okay. We'll figure it out. This is so cursed.
You're not used to the tool yet.
MS Paint. Oh boy. I mean,
They
it's
deleted
definitely
Notepad.
the OG, right? Unlike literally everything
You gotta
else
use
here,
Microsoft
we have
Word
layers?
now.
No. Liquify? No. Lasso tool? Do we even have a lasso tool? Okay, we do have a lasso tool at
Yeah.
least. The color wheels are awful. Color
WordPad,
picking
not
is
Notepad.
awkward.
Okay.
It's kind of
I like WordPad.
Although there is one thing that Paint has that you might not expect, and that is
Banger
Paint
brushes.
has pressure sensitivity. Pressing hard, pressing lightly. That's the wild card. I bet you
Yeah.
didn't know. It's not a lot, it's not very sensitive, but it absolutely
I love
has
Notepad because I just leave little notes for myself. It's like digital
And
sticky
Paint
notes.
honestly has cooler brushes than you might expect. This oil paint brush, genuinely pretty goated. I guess it's easy enough to use, mostly because it has no features, okay? When you only have like 3 features total, it's not very hard
pretty
to use.
easy to
'cause you
use,
can't really
yeah.
mess it up. And I think the lack of layers definitely makes it difficult for someone like me who relies a lot on on like line art layers and sketch layers. So for me personally, it's hard to get things done when there's only one layer. It's definitely better for painting if you work with shapes and do everything on one layer. It's called MS Paint, not MS Draw. But yeah, it doesn't have anything, but it does
Well,
have
apparently you can
pen
have
pressure, which is
layers
pretty cool, right? But
in the new version of
sadly,
Paint.
For a beginner, I don't think I could recommend it. Sorry, even below GIMP. You probably
No,
want something else,
you,
something with layers.
it's
at
probably
least. It was
fine
nice
for
seeing
what it
though.
is, man. Okay, yeah.
So I've never tried Artweaver before. We're gonna give it a shot, okay? Really? 300 by 300 pixels is the default? How old is this app?
What the fuck?
I don't have pressure sensitivity, which is kind of a big deal, but I don't know how to make it work. We'll try painting without pressure sensitivity for now. Okay, we're gonna go with pencil. Pencil? No pencils? Okay, pencil. You think I can't draw without pressure sensitivity? No, I'm able to do it with MS Paint. Don't underestimate me. And why does that window keep popping up? Stop. At least it uses a sensible color wheel. Not everything has a sensible color wheel, right? I'm not taking this nice triangular color wheel for granted anymore. What? How is that hard light? That is a lie.
What?
What do you mean? What kind of weird hard light calculation is
What the
this?
fuck?
We're just gonna... What? Okay, so I don't know, Artweaver's really limited because most other tools,
You're using
when you have
multiply,
eyedropper,
interesting.
there is an option to select the color from the layer. It looks like there's no way of me doing this here, so that's unfortunate.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to use complicated layer styles, which you probably don't because it doesn't get these layer styles right. It's like if I want to choose this color again, I actually can't.
Yeah,
It's
no,
gonna be
you.
too dark. Okay, this is it.
It looks like
I'm
it did
not
mix it.
Spending 1 extra second in Artweaver. Get me out of here. Save me from Artweaver. We're not coming back.
Yeah, that one's awful.
So unfortunately, again,
Ghost Train?
Artweaver for me, I did not manage to get pen pressure support. Maybe you'll be luckier, but I wasn't able to. So Artweaver, very intuitive, kind of like Metabang and Buyer Alpaca in that regard. But the problem is it isn't quite as full-featured. Krita has a really cool kind of smart
Nothing.
color
Ghost
mask
trains just get
option.
triggered
Artweaver
sometimes.
doesn't have that, so I had to kind of color all of these in. It had a fill tool, but it wasn't very good. That said, let's look at the features. So no liquefy, it has everything else. Pressure sensitivity is a toss-up, I couldn't get mine to work. It's easy to use, it's intuitive. The customizability and shortcuts, unfortunately, are paywalled. So if you want to change your hotkeys, you can't use Artweaver free. You're gonna have to use Artweaver Pro. You have to pay money for it. So if you're okay with that, I guess it's fine. It's just kind of underwhelming compared to the others. The brushes, actually a lot of brushes, tons of brushes, but unfortunately because I couldn't get pen pressure to work,
You
I
clearly
couldn't really
have not
test these
fixed
brushes
ghost
properly.
trains.
But my experience just wasn't
I
that
will
good.
say that, you know, I can turn off scam trains, but also it pays rent. So it's worth keeping on.
So I'll put it in C tier. Just, there's better options out there. The last one we have is actually Blender.
Yeah, I think I use Clip Studio Paint.
Gonna open Blender
Yeah.
for the first time.
Clip Studio,
Okay,
anyway.
it's crashing. Oh god. Okay. Alright, this is Grease Pencil. Okay. This looks
I
a little
am
bit
not a
more
fucking fan of
normal.
Blender as an art
We can work
program.
with this, I think. So it looks like when I start the stroke, there's a little lag. You see what I'm doing here? And I can't draw a circle because it takes some time for it to figure out I'm actually drawing. And I know it's not my PC specs issue. First rule of Blender, close other heavy programs. I can't. I'm streaming. I'm not closing OBS. I need more RAM. I got 32 gigs. How much more RAM do you want me to have? Okay, well, we'll work with it somehow. How do I move
64.
the canvas now? Like, how do I move the canvas around? That's pretty important, right? Middle mouse? No! No! How do I go back? Go back! What have I done? I'm in 3D! Haha! I found liquefy. I found liquefy. Yeah. Oh, I need to select them all first. So I need to go to object mode. I'm gonna select everything. Okay, watch this. Then I go to sculpt mode and watch me. I am liquefying. I'm gonna say that Grease Pencil does seem better than both Artweaver and GIMP so far.
Are you kidding me? You rate this
Despite
over
everything.
GIMP?
Blender. Imagine someone asks someone wants to learn art and they're like, hey, I've been drawing for a while now and I want to learn how to do digital art. What software do you think I should use? And now if you really hate them, if you hate
Photoshop's not
them
real.
with every fiber of your being, you tell them, oh, you should install Blender. Did you know you could use grease pencil? You can do 2D art in it, you know that? If you really don't like them,
I'm not gonna
that's what
start
you do.
drama with someone over GIMP.
I'd say Blender is really interesting. It's clearly very powerful.
Exclusively
I feel
free
like
art
Blender
programs.
is pretty opinionated in how, and Grease Pencil especially, is very opinionated in how it wants to be used and how it wants you to do things. If you get used to all those, and if you install probably a bunch of plugins, I can definitely see this being incredibly powerful. It's just that
My
if you're
cables
just
are all
starting
twisted.
out, you are not gonna get anything done. Okay, let's go through these features. Does it have layers? Kind of. It has layers if you can find the layers. They're hidden away somewhere. Liquify? It kind of does. The sculpt tool. The lasso tool? Yeah, if you can find it.
Like,
Good luck
GIMP's not a
finding
good
it.
art program.
Pressure sensitivity? Yes, works fine. Color pick, color wheel? Yeah, it all works fine. But like, good luck being able to find anything at all. Ease of use? 0 out of 10. Intuitiveness? 0 out of 10. It feels like you're playing hide and seek with the
It's free,
features in
yeah.
Blender. The
Same with
brushes,
Blender.
There's not a lot of options, but frankly, they feel pretty great. Definitely, if you're looking to do painterly things, that's not happening in Blender. You're not getting into Grease Pencil unless you watch a 45-minute tutorial on YouTube at the very least to get familiar with decent controls. Whereas with all the other
I don't
art
think
software,
these
you
are
can try and
bad
muck around
takes, I
with
just
it and it's
disagree with
figure it out
her.
pretty fast. That's not happening with Blender. Customizability, 10 out of 10, you can do anything you want. But man, I think the wild card is that it's Blender, right? Blender is the wild card. The whole thing is the wild card. So, like I said, as much as I can
Blender's
see,
UI
it's, like,
constantly
super powerful,
fights with
you
me.
can animate with it. There's a lot you can
Like, you look at my weird cum animation and just like, look at how this does not do what I want it to do. I mean, this is also me. Oh, what happened there? Is it just like, oh, it's like a fireball. Yeah, that's not what I want at all. I'm not trying to make a cum animation. It just looks like one. You know what I mean? Sphere, flow, liquid, geometry. Yeah, I think the difference is that I've used Blender or GIMP more. Yeah, 100%. Like, that's the problem, is I can't get it to, like, do the thing right the way I want it to do. Like, I want it to have some, like, spray to it, but, like, it just doesn't do that. Like, it's more gloopy.
do with it. There is no way in hell I can recommend this to someone starting out. Like, there's no way. I can't recommend this. It's really cool.
Krita I liked for a while. I switched it out for CSP.
Like, I would drop it down here almost. It's
Yeah.
too hard to use.
Yeah.
Way too hard to use. Good luck scribbling with this. What are you scribbling? Good. Have a good scribble right here. It's not You're not figuring this out by scribbling. I'm sorry.
I wanted to resize a picture in GIMP, and I had to. Okay.
It's me again, Maggie Mayfish. I'm coming to you today as myself instead of hiding behind a character. Ooh, I know you're all saying, how real, how vulnerable. But I'm also
I don't
coming
know
to
who
you
this
as myself
is.
because the strike is over. Maybe? Anyways, but it's not just
She does look
gang-related
familiar.
Hollywood riffraff striking for better wages. We're in the middle of a nationwide labor movement. And with that, I think it's worth looking back at the history of Hollywood
Maggie
on strike.
Mayfish.
What's this? This is just a letter from the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers telling me to shut up. And this one just says, or else.
Okay, hold on. See, like, look at the fucking spray on that, you know? She's one of the founders of Nebula. I really like Nebula stuff. I have not, like, used it, but, like that looks solid. But, like, the goop is too solid, you know? It needs to be more like, less goop, more steam. I'm not really sure where the particles, like, how I, like, change them. Yeah, making it less, like, viscous is incredibly difficult. Like, I can free it, and then I can mess with some of these things. Alfred Fish? I don't know who the fuck Alfred Fish is. Is there a way to shrink particles and increase the amount? Oh, I can decrease the amount of mesh that's thrown. I think I do that in here. Well, I've already got it as low as it goes. And it's not cum. You know, it looks like cum, but it's not cum, and I keep saying that in case if someone comes by. And they're like, what are you doing in here? Are you sure you can port this to Godot in a usable way? Yes. It's just weird. This is where I can do some of the stuff with, like, the spray. There's also a feature down here that I just want to point out. The Leonard Jones effector. Wait. Real quick, what the fuck are you talking about, Blender? This is what I mean by Blender is hard to use. What the fuck is Leonard Jones? We got gravity, all, force, vortex, magnetic, harmonic, charge, Leonard Jones, wind, curve guide, texture, fluid flow, turbulence, drag, bold. I am going to stream tomorrow, yes. Like, what does that fucking mean, dude? It's some kind of obscure physics term. He named it after himself. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble with the, I found it in a... Yeah, I haven't looked it up because I'm just like, the fuck are you talking about, Blender? Yeah, trying to make some liquid effects for my game, and I just...
Okay, well...
I got the rat to exist and have the access to the animation, and then it just makes it like an animate, like an animated sprite or something. You have to, like, start it.
Then YouTube doesn't have any AI restrictions. Oh, Maggie!
Hello, Mommy.
Ew, don't call me that.
Okay.
Did we watch this already?
Just like in high school. Well, this hotter, more agreeable version of myself is going to dive into the sordid history of labor movements in the entertainment industry. Thanks for filling in, Maggie. Don't get any ideas in your head about killing and replacing me. On second thought, call me Mommy. This video is brought to you by Mubi and my wonderful patron.
So,
the year is 1932, and Warner Brothers is becoming one of the major
last year there was
studios
huge
in America. A big
actors
part of their
strike in the
success
US.
was cultivating a socially conscious image through their message pictures, which tackled all kinds of issues from racism to the prison system to classism. Like the film,
This is
I Am a
referencing
Fugitive
that.
from a Chain Gang, about a wrongly convicted man who escapes from a chain gang, like the title suggests. The film was both extremely commercially successful and nominated for 3 Academy Awards. Alongside it were films like Wild Boys of the Road, about the economic impact of the Great Depression on teenage boys, or Meet John Doe, about an unhoused
I think I've
person
seen
who
that
becomes
last
an
one.
unlikely hero who is then taken advantage of by newspaper tycoons. And there's the explicitly anti-fascist and implicitly bisexual film Casablanca, which of course won the Best Picture Oscar for that year. Describing that era of film history, screenwriter Gordon Kahn recalls...
Yeah,
For almost 20 years, the Warner Brothers studio
They didn't
enjoyed-
get rid of the AI shit in it. Like, that's my big fucking issue with it, is they didn't get rid of the AI stuff, so they could just do whatever they want with AI now.
the public esteem. It pioneered in sound pictures, and thence onward in the production of musical films. Its era of greatest achievement...
Todd in the
was
Shadows?
period
I don't know who
where it
that
produced
is.
films that almost kept abreast of the headlines. It sought and developed new stars, directors, and production techniques. Due to the characters of its productions, scoffed at by the more lagging companies as message pictures, the Warner Company achieved a reputation as a public-spirited
He does
concern
music
within the
reviews.
industry, as well as outside.
Warner Brothers wasn't the only studio who prided themselves on crafting provocative, socially conscious films. 20th Century
former
Fox
channel.
produced
Well, a
the
lot of
Oxbow
former
Incident,
Channel Awesome
a
people
dark
are
western
legit.
that served as an allegory for the bloodthirst and brutality of the Nazis. That film was also nominated for Best Picture. Going My Way, from Paramount Pictures, was the story of a young progressive priest who has to raise money to save a church parish from the mortgage broker who threatens to foreclose on it. It became the highest grossing picture of that year and won 7 Academy Awards. And we still see the remnants of these early progressive Hollywood successes to this day. Moonlight is a great example of a film that
I
was
still
made
need to see that.
specifically because it challenged preconceived notions about black queerness and masculinity. And we are all better for it. Or, for a cynical example, Green Book, which honestly could have been released in 1934. And to the studios, there's a good reason to make message movies. These films are popular, they leave something for audiences and critics to discuss, the provocative nature gives the film free press, and, most importantly to top execs, these types of films are often very profitable. But back in the 1930s, as the Great Depression raged on and movies became a popular entertainment option for those with little extra money to spare, Hollywood saw its first tingling of class activism. The documentary, Hollywood on Trial, nominated for Best Documentary Feature in 1976, and Legacy of the Hollywood Blacklist, a TV special from 1987, lay out much of this crucial historical context. They feature dozens of interviews with blacklisted filmmakers, which are frighteningly relevant today. The unions we rely on today, the Screen Actors Guild, the Writers Guild of America,
Right.
and the Directors Guild of America, were all created around
Unsurprisingly,
this time,
Ronald Reagan
born out
is
of
behind
laborers
this one, guys.
experiencing the crushing effects of the Great Depression.
Reflecting the wave in other industries, the motion picture business became a focal point for trade unionism. Craft unions and talent guilds organized to fight for studio recognition. The studios fought back.
And I didn't know this until researching for this video, but the Oscars were also created
We're getting
around
a
this
second
time as a way
economic
to
depression probably end of the month, at least in America. The rest of the world seems to have dodged it.
discourage union membership by
Because
distracting
turns out
us
they
with
don't need
shiny
us.
objects. The 1930s saw massive labor organizations.
We'll at least have a
as
recession at the end of the
employed
month.
And unemployed people across the country closed down factories and marched through the streets. Union membership rose rapidly. Many labor actions were met with violence, as the employers and the government called in the police, the National Guard, or private firms like the Pinkertons to shut them down.
I mean, the tariffs still hurt, but it's just the tariffs from America. You just ignore
By the end of the
America.
30s, the United States
Also, I
surpassed
love that they
all
broke as
other
many
industrial
windows as
nations in
possible.
labor violence.
But this growing labor movement was interrupted by the outbreak of World War II. Before the war touched American soil, there were large swaths of the population who had fascist sympathies.
Yeah.
Fellow Americans, American patriots, we, with American ideals, demand that our government shall be returned to the American people who founded it.
Or didn't
and
see the
make
problem
America great
because
again?
Our country also believed in racial segregation and superiority. It wasn't until Pearl Harbor that outwardly supporting fascism became uncouth in the States.
What's going on here? It's not my problem. Now, it's my problem.
When World War II broke out, the labor movement in America
Yeah, Nazis
was
got
put
a lot
on
of
pause
ideas from us.
as
I
the
mean, like,
country
Hitler was a huge fucking fan of this one Western, that, like, he was just like, man, Trail of Tears, that was banger. We should have our own. We should do that. And then Operation Paperclip, of course, after the war. But, I mean, like, listen, we needed to beat those commies.
shifted its attention to defeating fascism abroad. Union leaders and members made a no-strike pledge for the sake of the war effort, and Hollywood became
I mean, like, some of the stuff they were doing in the Holocaust was directly inspired by some of the stuff that we were doing with, like, Hispanic immigrants in, like, border towns and shit. Like, when you start looking into where he got his inspiration, you're like, ooh.
For the government to depict the courageous war overseas and inspire families at home.
Are you a patriotic American?
Yes, sir.
Eager to do your part?
Yes, sir.
But after the war was over, American foreign policy changed from fighting fascism back to fighting the dirty, stinky, smelly, just like weird commies. And as soldiers returned in droves to their new factory jobs, kicking the women out and back into the refrigerator, it didn't take long for the labor movements to once again pick up steam. After Japan surrendered, bringing an end to the war, the no-strike pledge also came to an end. 43,000 petroleum workers and 200,000 coal miners immediately went on strike, followed shortly by lumber workers, teamsters, and 250,000 United Auto Workers. The industrial laborers who had ensured
We do need a
America's
general
victory
strike soon.
now wanted their fair share. 5 million Americans would eventually participate in various strikes across the country in the aftermath of the war, demanding better pay and safer working conditions. But even before the war was over, the situation in Hollywood was so bad, film crews were already starting to strike. And not just because of unfair wages. One of the biggest crew unions, IATSE, or the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, had been
I've
taken
never
over
understood
by
what
the
that symbol
mob
was. That's
and were
great.
collaborating
Now
with
I
the
know what it
production
is.
companies to keep crew wages down and prevent them from striking. Like some Hollywood movie or something.
I'm going to jail. You understand? I'm going to prison. Because of you.
Hadley Mears writes for the LAist.
By 1934, a crime syndicate associated with the now jailed Al Capone had effectively taken over the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, installing former pimp Willie Byron
Former
and corrupt
pimp,
stagehand
wow.
George Brown as its leaders. The two men allegedly made deals between the studios and the mob, extorting industry leaders to avoid labor unrest.
Crew members, of course, started to organize themselves against the mob-infiltrated union. Not only will unions organize, they'll double organize if their first one's taken over by the mob. Willie Bioff and George Brown were so transparently criminal, in 1941 they were both indicted for racketeering and sent to prison. The new IATSE president appointed Roy Brewer to handle Hollywood. And he wasn't much better.
Yeah.
And maybe a little worse. Brewer worked with the studios and the mob to guarantee
Unions
low
have
wages
power
and
if they
no
actually
strikes.
step up,
Crew
but there
members,
needs to be
sick
some
of their
decisions
union
made.
collaborating to keep wages down, created their own. The conference
Yeah,
of
racketeering
studio
is functionally not a
Thomas
crime
Dory
anymore
for the Hollywood
if you have
Reporter
enough money.
gives the background on the new union that sought to challenge the corrupt system.
In 1941, out of a sense that IATSE was a tool of the bosses, corporate and mob, the more radical conference of studio unions emerged, led by a firebrand agitator named Herbert K. Sorrell, a former boxer and member of the Motion Picture Painters Local 644. That year, he led the Screen Cartoonist Guild into a high-profile...
It does sound like the Folding Ideas guy. I think he's on Nebula as well.
Earning the eternal enmity of Disney, who expected his animators to whistle while they worked cheap. Sorrell's class-conscious rhetoric and bare-knuckle tactics led mob-connected union boss Brewer to suspect he was something far worse than a mobster. Sorrell always joked that he was not a communist, but he was happy to spend their money.
The new break-off union was gathering momentum, and for 29 weeks they picketed in front of Warner Brothers Studios, which culminated in a violent confrontation that became known as Black Friday. The violence began on October 5th, 1945, when workers under the mob-controlled IATSE union tried to cross the new union's picket line. Screenwriter Gordon Kahn recalls,
Events that day took a serious turn. Warner issued an ultimatum to the strikers to disperse. Instead, their numbers grew. Then, shortly before noon, tear gas bombs were hurled from within the studio gates. More followed. The picketers ran, but later their lines reformed. The Warner Brothers Fire Department coupled their hoses and turned the powerful stream on those demonstrating outside. Men and women were flung to the ground by the high-pressure jets and swept along like chips. A score were injured. Warner sent for police reserves who brought up tear gas guns and began clubbing people off the streets of Burbank.
Nothing has changed.
The mass arrests continued into 1947, when the strikes turned the House Committee's attention once again to the movie industry.
businessmen and politicians were wary of the example that Hollywood unions could set for the rest of the working class. So what better way to squash them than by staging a little theater of their own? Let me introduce our antagonist, the House Un-American Activities Committee. What was the House Un-American Activities Committee? It was a congressional committee created in 1938 to investigate supposed communists and other subversive elements in the country. This was before the government could just tap your phone. The arts have always been a place where powerful people can exploit workers and attempt to influence culture. We devalue the arts so that we can devalue labor in order to increase profits.
devaluing arts in order to get more money. Why, they'd never. Anyway, AI art exists.
For the people in charge. Creatives are an easy target for political propaganda.
Actors, you're just reading lines. That's replaceable. That's why they should be scared.
Because there is a lot of wealth for those at the top. But in reality, most actors and writers barely make a living and need second jobs. There's also a long history of actors being smeared as literal or figurative sex workers, a tactic used by the Puritans attempting to shut down Shakespeare's theater. Not to mention, typing on a typewriter was widely viewed as women's work, so any man sitting and writing about his feelings was looked down on by his misogynist peers as an effeminate dandy. And the next time you're the
Fuck
only
you,
woman
I
in the writer's
am. I
room,
do what I
look around
want.
and say,
If I want to
"Hey,
fucking use a
thought this was
typewriter, I
supposed to be
will.
women's work." Our country has had several iterations of the House Un-American Activities Committee, like the Fish Committee, started by my distant relative Hamilton Fish III in 1930.
There you
all
are.
love to talk about my other terrible relative, Scary Albert, but you're sleeping on this jerk, who did things like attack the ACLU. Thanks, Hamilton. At least your grandson kind of made up for it by producing a few of Marcel Ophel's documentaries. During the Great Depression, President Roosevelt created the Works Project Administration to give people public service jobs, including a very popular theater program, which of course came under fire.
Honestly, whoever takes the reins after the current administration needs to do a new one of these. We have a lot of crumbling infrastructure that could be very much fixed if you just, did that. Like, it would cost money, but, the good old days when we had a higher tax rate where we could afford to hire a shit ton of people to just, like, do public work projects. Maybe there's a fucking idea there.
By the House Un-American Activities Committee in 1938.
Committee member and future chairman J. Parnell Thomas called the theater project a hotbed for communists.
And so, in the midst of a nationwide labor movement, the House Un-American Activities...
I mean, like, both of them are using... I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little political for a minute because this video is political. Both parties rely on the fear tactic of, like, we're going to do fucking awful shit. Except for the Republicans go, we're going to do great shit for you. And the Democrats go, if you don't send, me $20 more, democracy's Dunyan rings. And it's like, well, bitch, what did I pay you last time for? Why does it keep happening? But, like, they don't have a fucking platform anymore. They haven't had a platform since, like, Clinton. When they were like, let's just, like... talk, like, both parties have just gotten down to, like, identity politics shit that does not help. Like, how can you call yourself a small government person if you want to... How can you call yourself small government and then be like, I get to decide what gender you are? You know what I mean? How can you say you're the party of law and order if you're willing to elect someone who is openly using cryptocurrency to buy favors? Yeah, I mean, like, relative to the rest of the world, Democrats are very more like, they're center right functionally.
Activities Committee, which from now on I'm just going to call the committee, that's self-care, turned its eyes to Tinseltown. Because what better way to stamp down on those fighting for
We need a
workers'
new
rights
party.
and union memberships than by getting the government to paint everyone who attempts to organize as our new #1 enemy, the communists.
The studios say there is no blacklist at all. It's a dirty word with them. However, over 250 people have received notices from the studios that they are no longer employable in motion pictures, and I was one of the first.
In 1947, the committee invited various members of the motion picture industry to testify.
We need a new
in front of
system. I
Congress,
see getting us
supposedly
new
to
parties
investigate
more
the
likely than a
infiltration
new
of communism in
system.
Hollywood, and convincing the public that Hollywood was run
Like,
by foreign agents.
Regardless of my political beliefs, right? Like that for me, like, is an ideal of what I want, but I realize that's not going to happen anytime soon. And so I got to be like, all right, well, let's work with what we fucking got. And what we got is a really shitty party. I think the whole thing collapsing is more likely than new parties. I mean, I hope not. I really hope not. I would hope that Republicans can go make a different party, and from there, like, they can make something real, you know? Like, not that I like Republicans, but if your options are, you can either vote flippity-gibbet, Democrat or Republican, and flippity-gibbet is, I don't know why I went with that word, because it's kind of hard to say. A majority of Republicans I don't think actually like Trump, but he's the guy, so you gotta vote for him, but also he sucks, you know? If there was a version of the Republican Party that was, you know, not about a lot of this shit, maybe just economic theory, even if I don't agree with it, and less like infiltrating the bedroom and policies like that is not freedom to be told you can't marry who you want. That is not freedom to say you can't get corrective surgery if you want. You know? Democrats would be then forced to actually have action and policies because that other party would be doing shit.
Agents was a great way to kneecap the labor movement and control any messaging coming from the entertainment industry.
I think it was important to silence the communications business. There was nothing subversive in the content of the pictures, but they wanted to set the stage for the Cold War, and they really wanted to frighten the American people, and they did a masterful job in that direction.
There's a quote from JFK where it's like, if you make peaceful revolution impossible, violent revolution will become inevitable. And I fear that they're very much making peaceful revolution impossible. Both parties. And I don't like that that's the conclusion that I come to. Because I don't want that at all. Because, like, when you talk about violence, it usually isn't towards people like me. I usually end up getting out of this scot-free.
Loudest voices within Hollywood promoting the Red Scare was the owner of the Hollywood Reporter, Billy Wilkerson. Wilkerson had printed the names of 11 people in his own column, accusing them of being communist.
I might need to take the political filters out behind the shed. It might be time.
For Joe Stalin. In 2012, on the 65th anniversary of the Blacklist, the Hollywood Reporter published an in-depth history of
I'm very bad at it. I know, but like, man, it's so... The United States is also a one-party state, but with typical American extravagance, they have two of them. Man, that's real.
In which they admitted and apologized for the paper's destructive role in the whole process.
Yeah.
Larry Sapler, author of The Inquisition in Hollywood, says Wilkerson was little more than a cheerleader, parroting anti-communist rhetoric spewed by politicians and business titans. But others, including Wilkerson's son Willie and writers and actors who were blacklisted, view Wilkerson as a shadowy, organized crime-connected figure who ran roughshod over Hollywood and used his column as a bully pulpit to ruin people's lives.
Is that crashing out? Like, I've just learned about the term crash out. But, like, was that crashing out? Because I thought crashing out would be like, guys, I just fucking can't do this anymore. And then I start bitching about my life, and then I just start, like... Crashing out is what raging used to be. I feel like crashing out is more emotional, right? Like, it's like... Yeah, crashing out is more of a meltdown. Like, a very emotional meltdown. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna worry about it because this is what I was submitted, you know? Crashing out is what you accuse someone of doing when you're mad. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Crashing out has the potential for genuine heartfelt feelings coming from rage. If it's just you mad, lol, that's stupid. But if it's like someone crashes out and just destroys their career because they have like an overly emotional moment, like they like, well, there was someone who was doing a joking thing a while ago and they're like, you guys don't have money? Why aren't you paying me more money? Is that crashing out? It's more nuanced than you mad because it's not necessarily just anger, right? The problem with talking about politics isn't that I'm right or wrong. Though there are people who think I'm wrong. There's a lot of people who are much more into like larger government or like kind of stuff that I'm just not about. Yeah, I guess the problem with talking about politics is it fucking sucks. Like, I'm like, there are good things happening, you know? There are. It's a lot easier to talk about, like, the bad things that are happening, but, like, almost every single thing that Trump tries to do is immediately stopped by the courts. Because the justices, the, you know, legal system still does not think that what he's doing is legal. It is the one check that's still in play. I mean, yeah, politics affects everything. Politics is like philosophy made manifest, you know? What if we just apply my philosophy to everyone? He is ignoring the courts. And now is step 2 for the courts. What's the reaction to that?
For his personal gain. Wilkerson wrote specifically to an industry audience, thereby exercising much more direct influence and power.
As editor of one of the most powerful trade publications, Wilkerson was...
Can you tell me any of other quotes from Diogenes' legend? I mean, like, I wish we would stop calling them DEI programs. You know? Because, like, that just gets thrown around. They just mean, like, black and brown and gay people. And trans people. Get that women. Get the women, the black people, all that shit. It's a buzzword so that way they don't have to say, you know? DEI is a new creative way. Well, it doesn't just mean the N-word. It also means that women bad and gay bad. But also the N-word. You know, it's very similar to like woke, where it's just like, well, I mean, yeah, because if you're a diversity, inclusion, or equity hire, I got the, yeah, it's one generic slur that you can just throw everything. Yeah.
Uniquely necessary to the industry. He positioned himself as its kingpin and gatekeeper in matters of work and play. That quote is correct.
Indoctrination? My bro. What are they indoctrinating us with? Don't be a fucking prick? I learned that shit from Sesame Street.
Creepy. That
Come
same
on,
article
man.
also quotes Dave Wagner, co-author of Blacklisted and Radical Hollywood.
Communists had been at odds with gangsters since Poland in the late 19th century, when the gangsters were brought in as enforcers at the factories in the Jewish ghettos. These roles are pretty much
Big homo.
encapsulated in New York and then in Hollywood. Gangsters were hired to break strikes by the guilds and put down left-wing union agitation. The studio bosses greeted Bioff and his guys as welcoming heroes.
Wilkerson's most rabid anti-communist columnist, Mike Connolly, acted as a kind of libs of TikTok of his time.
Even after targets had been driven out of the industry, Wilkerson would support Connolly as he tauntingly published the victims' new work addresses in other fields, apparently to incite picketing. Charles Page, one of the 3 Screenwriters Guild secretaries who invoked the Fifth, is now teaching at U of C in Riverside, a member of the Department of Humanities Room 2234 Administration Building.
That's also super creepy. People who testified in front of Congress include B-movie actor Ronald Reagan, president of SAG at the time. When the committee asked Reagan if the communists were attempting to exert influence on the Screen Actors Guild, he replied,
"There has been a small group within the Screen Actors Guild which has consistently opposed the policy of the Guild Board and officers of the Guild, as evidenced by the vote on various issues. That small clique, referred to, has been suspected of more or less following the tactics that we associate with the Communist Party."
What these tactics were, or how their actions would subvert capitalism or democracy, Reagan leaves unclear. But an FBI memo from the time shows that Reagan collaborated with the committee to strategize how to root out progressive filmmakers in Hollywood, working against the very people he was elected to
This sounds
represent.
familiar.
Studio heads also testified, like Jack Warner, who claimed that 95% of the communists in Hollywood were writers, implying that they were inserting communist messages into their scripts. But Warner's testimony, too, was full of innuendo and self-admitted hearsay.
When I say these people are communists...
Honestly, like, if you want a shortcut to figure out what... If you want to learn what the fuck is wrong with anything in America, like 80% chance of it being Reagan's fault. Like, pretty fucking high.
As I said before, it is from hearsay. It was from printed forms I read in the Hollywood Reporter.
Diogenes is not... That's why I mentioned that, because, like, Diogenes does not have, like, a whole lot of writing that you can read on him, because, like, who the fuck were his followers? It's not like, you know, I don't know, Socrates or something, where there are, like, people, you know?
To mention specifics about what makes these writers' scripts communist, he couldn't give any. Clearly, things were not going well for the committee during their initial opening run. Evidence and reality didn't seem to matter to the committee as much as vibes. At one point, the committee's investigator directed friendly witness Richard McCauley to name only those in the guild whom you feel are communists. But there were still people within the industry who tried to give the committee the answers they were looking
I knew
for.
as well.
Leo McCarey,
Yeah.
who we had mentioned earlier as the director and producer of the message film Going My Way, about rich people screwing over the working class, was himself a rich man who testified in front of the committee in order to screw over the working class. He claimed to have personal experience with communist writers. According to him, they tried to plant propaganda in his films. Gordon Kahn sums up the back and forth between McCarey and the committee.
Would Mr. McCarey detail such an instance? Well, Mr. McCarey wasn't so good with the details. About all he could come up with was the eternally belabored pronoun they.
Pronouns.
They would throw cold water
DI
on Mr.
shit,
McCarey's
throw him in
ideas
jail.
if those ideas didn't agree with their policy. They were always giving Mr. McCarey books to read, causing Mr. McCarey to maintain a painful alertness in order to detect the latest propaganda in these books. It is very subtle, in other words, Mr. Stripling tenderly inquired. At times, very subtle, Mr. McCarey sighed. It appeared that some of them were very clever.
The committee got McCarey to agree that the Communist Party should be outlawed. Walt Disney, who had been forced to settle with the Screen Cartoonists Guild in 1941, also sided with the committee. When asked if the strike was instituted by members of the Communist Party, he replied,
"Well, it proved itself so with time, and I definitely feel it was a communist group trying to take over my artists. And they did take them over.
Movies that were completed in the years after the strike, which apparently must contain communist propaganda, because otherwise what are we even talking about here, include Bambi, The Song of the South, and Cinderella.
Damn.
Yes, those famous communist epics. Since the friendly, anti-communist witnesses were so vague about their accusations, it's worth taking a look at what kind of material and talent.
No, you should
they were trying
definitely
to
fucking
eliminate
question
from
your
Hollywood.
beliefs.
Just a few months before the committee hearings.
Like, if you're fucking wrong, you should, you know, go, okay, I'm wrong. And then what, you know? Also, how much of a delay do we have? Let me know when you hear this.
Producer Adrian Scott and director Edward Dmytryk put out their noir film Crossfire, which tackled the theme of anti-Semitism in the military.
This,
okay, it's not that bad.
Jews comes in a lot of different sizes. There's the, you can't join our country club kind, and you can't live around here kind. Yes, and you can't work here kind. And because we stand for all of these, we get Monty's kind.
Delay test 2.
He's just one guy. We don't get
Saw
him
like
very
half a
often,
second
but he
before, but
grows out of all the rest.
Crossfire was based on former Marine Richard Brooks's 1945 novel The Brick Foxhole, where instead of anti-Semitism, the main theme was homophobia in the military.
Oh.
But since it was the 1940s and Hollywood was still strictly under the Hays Code, it was impossible for the filmmakers to mention that a character could be gay. Although, that didn't stop the filmmakers from including a few scenes with pretty obvious innuendo.
You talk too much sometimes.
You're appealing to my better side.
Yes.
Making me some sort of a proposition?
Yes.
I'd like to sleep on it.
You can sleep all day when we're finished.
The film went on to receive Oscar nominations for Best Picture, Best Director,
Gay.
Best Supporting Actor and Female Actor, and Best Writing for an Adapted Screenplay. Plus, it was very commercially successful. Clearly, the industry and audiences agreed that this was the type of film they wanted to see. When Dmytryk and Scott were asked to testify in Congress, they invited the committee members to watch the film, but they refused.
Wow.
Adrian Scott wrote an impassioned opening statement, but the committee also refused to let him read it. The chairman said,
"This may not be the worst statement we have received, but it is almost the worst. Therefore, it
I wish
is
I knew who
clearly
any of these
unfounded,
voices were.
not pertinent at all, hasn't anything to do with the inquiry, and the chair will rule that this statement will not be read."
Wow.
Cool.
What could he have possibly said to make it one of the worst statements the committee has ever received?
I would like to speak about the Cold War now being waged by the Committee of Un-American Activities against the Jewish and Black peoples. The evidence is clear and incontrovertible. We detest anti-Semitism. We detest anti-Catholicism. We detest any practice which degrades any minority or any religion or any people.
Fucking Catholics? All right. Sure.
We expected the committee to refuse our invitation to see and discuss Crossfire. We expected them to refuse to discuss measures by which the practice of anti-Semitism could be abolished. To do this would be incompatible with the committee's bigoted record and bigoted support. Individually, a member
That's
of this
true.
committee may protest
Being
that
Catholic
he's
was a
not
big deal back in the day.
anti-Semitic. He may say that some of his best friends are Jewish, or even that some of his best constituents are Jewish. Or he may say in protest that he loves Black people, provided that they keep their place. But despite his protestations of individual innocence, the evidence of the committee's collective guilt is clear. Let the committeeman say he is not anti-Semitic, but the rabble-rousing anti-Semitic Jared L. K. Smith publicly approves and supports him. Let the committeeman say that he is not against Black people, but the Ku Klux Klan and all hate groups love and support him. Let the committeeman whisper in the cloakroom that he disapproves of the hate-monger John Ratkin of Mississippi, but has he
I mean, Hitler did go after Catholics for whatever reason. No, you're good, Legend. I agree. I think that you should question your beliefs. Because a lot of them are built into you in early days, and you don't necessarily agree with them anymore. You may not necessarily, like, vibe with them anymore. You know? If you think about yourself, if you think about, why do I believe that? Is it true? What is this video called? I'll copy it for you, but it's Hollywood labor versus the mob.
Avowed him publicly? Has he repudiated his racist doctrine?
Italy was
Has he, more importantly,
pretty
recommended
close
legislation
ally,
which would
yeah.
destroy John Bracken's racist?
Dude, Mussolini fucking did the Nazi salute first. It's the Roman salute from a very specific movie that is apocrypha and not a real thing. And then Hitler was like, that's fucking awesome, dude. Can I do that too? And Mussolini was like, no, that's my thing. And then he started doing it and everyone was like, oh, that's Hitler's thing. And Mussolini was like, fuck, I hate working with this guy. He's fucking insane and he's kind of an idiot.
Doctrines. Let the committeeman say he is opposed to inhuman treatment of minorities and bad housing in unsanitary ghettos. But what measures has the committeeman personally recommended to change all of this?
Takes one to know. I mean, like, listen. He got turned on his head in the end. You know, things turned around for him.
Where has his hand been evident in assisting minorities to take their rightful place among their fellow men?
He did leave everyone hanging, yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, no, they left him hanging.
What has he done to make fair employment practices a reality? Let the committeeman say he is not anti-Semitic, but let the record show he does the work of anti-Semites. Let the committeeman say he is not anti-black, but let the record show he does the work of the Ku Klux Klan. Today, this committee is engaged in an attempt to destroy 19 subpoenaed witnesses. The record of these men is clear. They have always stood for issues which are beneficial to the great mass of the American people. Many times in their films, they have presented Jewish and black peoples and other minorities as well in unstereotyped terms. They have made it an uncompromising rule in motion pictures to treat all minorities with dignity. This is the Cold War now being waged by the Committee on Un-American Activities Against Minorities. The next phase, total war against minorities,
And like, not to, you know, be the pot calling the kettle black, but like, you're a little out of focus.
History has recorded what happened in Nazi Germany. We will continue to lend our voices so that fundamental justice will obtain for Jewish people, black people, and for all citizens.
Scott then listed a whole...
Oh, I see. That still fucking reads well. That's horrifying.
Slew of films and filmmakers that were accused of harboring communist sympathies. He points out that many of these films just happen to be those which depicted minorities in a sympathetic light, including Jewish people, black people, and Mexican people. Some of which are still seminal works like Casablanca, Of Mice and Men, and All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm sure many of you are familiar with
I need to
the
watch
famous,
that one at some point.
Are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Are you now, have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Are you a member of the Communist Party? Or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
And are you now, have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Are you or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
But the committee didn't stop there. They also asked Dmytryk, are you a member of the Screen Directors Guild? That question, and...
Are you a member of the Screenwriters Guild? Are you a member of the Screenwriters Guild?
Were designed specifically to make these guilds...
So, you said today, as you often say, that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen, your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
Let me ask you some hopefully simple questions.
Anyway, back to where we were watching.
Or any union for that matter, seem like fronts for the Communist Party.
Shit hasn't
The
fucking
Matrix Britain
changed.
Statement was also suppressed by the committee. Many
Was that
artists,
last year that
writers,
happened?
and everyday Americans were either members of the Communist Party at one time or
Yeah, a
sympathized
year
with the
ago.
broader social goals of
The
Communist Party.
CEO of
In many
TikTok.
Americans, the Communist Party seemed the most visible force for social change.
But the idea that there was some mass movement of communists trying to destroy America from the inside out was ridiculous. Carrie Nelson writes about the varied motivations of the American left in the 1930s and 40s.
Some abandoned the party for the anti-Stalinist left, a movement identified with partisan review. Other poets, like thousands of Americans, no doubt joined the party briefly, but soon found its tedious political meetings unappealing. More important, large numbers of writers were sympathetic fellow travelers.
Ever like talk to a
recognizing that the party
communist?
was an
Have you ever attended a
extraordinarily
communist
effective promoter
party?
of leftist causes and beliefs. It
I
promoted
believe
these
it.
causes far more effectively, in fact, than it promoted itself. Many also sympathized with the Soviet Union, even if they were not about to advocate a similar revolution in America. In the midst of the Depression, the Soviet Union, for many writers, was an essential image of the possibility of cultural and political change, and it was idealized in part to keep that sense of possibility present. The Communist Party of the United States, on the other hand, was not widely idealized, but many writers strongly supported some of its initiatives.
The committee wanted to paint every progressive American as a secret agent of the evil Soviet Union. But in reality, Americans who were curious about communism were rarely interested in some kind of abstract global revolution, and more interested in improving the material conditions of their immediate surroundings.
Sure.
They weren't looking to destroy America. They were looking to make America a better place, one that more accurately lived up to the ideals it was supposedly founded upon.
We all had a dream. We had a dream of a better world for everybody.
It's important to remember
Fucking
that
commie.
all of the accused had suffered through the Great Depression. They had seen the monumental failure of capitalism, from the stock market crash of 1929 until the U.S. entered World War II. That's over a decade of poverty, breadlines, and
I wouldn't say
misery.
commies were
Sterling
good
Hayden
the
was
whole
a
time.
rising star.
Stalin was not good. Just gonna throw it out there. Stalin was. It's one of those situations that you have to, like, when you do a violent revolution, you know who takes over. Well, you get the guys who led the violent revolution. Okay, well, do they want to let go of power? Well, maybe in a bit. They'll let go of power in a bit. You know, once everything gets settled, then we'll let go of power. That ends up being a recurring issue.
In the early 40s, before enlisting in the Marines. After seeing the bravery of Yugoslavian communists fighting the Nazis, he briefly joined the party when he got back to the States. Years later, he wrote,
"You know, I don't know why I got out of the party any more than I know why I joined. I could say a lot of things about those people I knew in the party, and you know something? It would all be good. I never heard anything that was subversive. I wrote this out last night.
Stalinist is a bit fashy. Yeah, you could say that. He's a little bit.
Business had better wake
like
up.
water's a little bit
I was in
wet.
the party for 6 months. I know a bit about what goes on. You think those people are trying to subvert your precious Hollywood? They're not. Now, you people allegedly believe in free competition. You want the world to follow in our footsteps, so you invest billions of bucks all over hell and gone trying to influence people. Yet, when the socialist world does this, you scream foul.
in the early 50s, the FBI pressured Hayden into naming names of people that he met while attending meetings. Even though he tried to only give names he already knew the FBI had on their list, he still regretted the decision for the rest of his life.
So when I turned rat before the before HUAC, I got a wire from Reagan congratulating me, you know. And of course, the irony is that it's the one thing I've done in my life that I'm categorically ashamed of, you know, because you're not a stool pigeon, and I did it because I was weak, you know.
You see, if you listen to the FBI, they'll say that at these meetings they plot the overthrow of the government.
Well, of course, but though I think we've all become a bit more sophisticated now, haven't we? I mean, I think on every level there's an understanding in a way that, because it was never proven that they were doing any such a bloody thing. You know, what this group that I was with was concerned with was trying to get a better deal for the carpenters primarily, and also trying to get a better deal for the screen extras and some of the actors.
In his book, Gordon Kahn lists various activities that could get you put on a list as a suspected communist. These included being critical of Jim Crow, anti-Semitism, high prices, or your landlord. defending the rights of immigrants, suggesting that movies should resemble real life, being Jewish, Catholic, a union member, or of foreign descent, being critical of American businesses, opposing fascism before or after the period where it was fashionable to oppose fascism. And that list...
I'm glad we don't have to worry about this anymore.
Kind of just gives away the game, doesn't it? In 1946, the year before the committee investigated Hollywood, director William Wyler released The Best Years of Our Lives, a drama about veterans returning
Gentlemen
home
Ace,
from the
I will
war
say
and
something
their
to you.
attempts to
If you, like
reintegrate
me, are
back
an
into
enemy of the
society.
estate,
It's a
according to
complex
that
narrative
list,
that tackles various
we'll be
issues
friends
from
at least.
PTSD to physical disabilities.
I'll do it for you.
What's the matter? Think I can't spell my own name?
Disabled veteran Harold Russell won 2 Academy Awards for his performance as a sailor and a double amputee.
Jesus.
At a time when most American media outlets refused to show any footage of seriously injured vets out of the shame associated with disability. It also includes a scene that directly calls out the undercurrent of fascism alive in American society. The veterans confront an America First style fascist sympathizer at a lunch counter. Content warning in this clip for racist terminology against Japanese people.
Oh.
We were pushed into war.
Sure, by the Japs and the Nazis, so we had...
Oh, the Germans and the Japs had nothing against us. They just wanted to fight the Limeys and the Reds. And they would have whipped them, too. We didn't get deceived into it by a bunch of radicals in Washington.
What?
You put those down! Take your hands over there.
Yay! Ragdolled
And of course,
hard.
The capitalist business owner sides with the fascist because...
Don't say it, chum. The customer's always right, so I'm fired. But this customer wasn't right. I'll meet you outside in a minute, kid.
The story is still very much a product of its time. The female characters are expected to work as unpaid nurses and therapists for men. The few non-white characters on screen are relegated to the help or background performers with next to no lines. The film characterizes the soldiers' reintegration into society as a matter of individual problems and individual solutions, rather than
I like that they got an
advocating for
actual
broader social
amputee.
change.
That was...
It still reinforced
that's
the
cool.
stereotype of disabled people as quick to anger and overly focused on their inability to perform basic tasks. But it was one of the more progressive post-war message pictures of its time. As David Gerber notes in his essay, Heroes and Misfits, Wyler and his screenwriter Robert Sherwood understood that the Hollywood system had its limits, and if they wanted a box office success, they needed to avoid serious controversy with censors and reviewers. Shortcomings aside, Wyler was very conscious that the real threat to American democracy wasn't the troops returning home or...
I mean, listen, like, some people get really into method acting, and you're just like, man, we really need a double amputee, so you got the part, but, you know... We're gonna have to do some stuff, like, to your look. The having hands thing,
some vague communist threat, but authoritarians masquerading as patriots.
So we should have been on the side of the Japs and the Nazis, eh?
Again, I say, just look at the facts.
And his fear would come true the very next year in the guise of the committee. In a statement written after his friends were blacklisted, William Wyler wrote,
I wouldn't be allowed to make the best years of our lives in Hollywood today.
Nope.
That is directly the result of the activities of the Un-American Activities Committee. They are making decent people afraid to express their opinions. They are creating fear in Hollywood. Fear will result in self-censorship. Self-censorship will paralyze the screen. In the last analysis, you will suffer. You will be deprived of entertainment which stimulates you, and you will be given a diet of pictures which conform to arbitrary standards of Americanism. I hope to make many more pictures as popular, as meaningful, and as successful at the box office as The Best Years of Our Lives.
Hey, what's coming out soon? Okay. Right. Okay. Glad movies are better now.
Today,
I'm glad we
media
don't
is
just
a
have
given.
like really stupid, soulless movies that just tell you like consume product, buy thing.
But back in the 1940s, it was still a relatively
No
new
fucking
technology,
meaning or presence.
especially mass audiovisual media.
You'll forget
In
this
order
one
for
by the time
people
you
in
watch the
power
next
to
one.
Remain in power, they rightfully understood that they needed to capture the entertainment industry to prevent populist or progressive messages from spreading across the country. Despite the US being home to a massive labor movement in the 1930s and countless films, folk songs, and poems celebrating progressive ideals, after the war, the arts were restricted to what the conservatives in power would allow.
Fascism is about to take over a country. That's when you tell your intellectuals and your men of letters and your women of letters to shut up.
In Hollywood, a marked change had taken place in the content of motion pictures.
I think that through the work of the House Un-American Activities Committee, the American people were deprived of a whole generation of screen creativity.
We thought that we were in a decade of such towering dullness and stupidity.
The committee worked hand in hand with the Hays Code to limit free speech. It's what Carrie Nelson calls the process of repression and the construction of a diminished, sanitized cultural memory. The message pictures of the 1930s and early 1940s had been some of the most financially and critically successful films of the era. If we really had a free market, those movies would have continued. But around the time of the committee hearings,
Publicly and privately, J.L. Warner declared that he was through making motion pictures about the little man.
In 1948, Variety reported that studios are continuing to drop plans for message pictures like hot coals. I, of course, had heard the phrase, "Are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?" But I had no idea how much of a red herring these red hearings were.
Yeah.
It is political. You're a communist.
No, Mr. Green. Communism is just a red herring.
A front to keep the studio heads' profit margins up, and a way for right-wing politicians to launch their careers and craft a little political theater, casting themselves as the heroes of Western culture. According to an interview with Ronald Reagan years later, the blacklist was just the free market speaking.
The blacklist you so often hear about in following the Waldorf meeting, this did not stem from Hollywood. This stemmed from the American people. If you're in the picture business and you're a producer and you're going to invest a few $1 million in a picture, and you've got great nationwide organizations.
Clue is a good movie. I like that they had different endings.
You got a little selective with who you put in it.
But as we've seen, Reagan himself was working behind the scenes against the free marketplace of ideas. Far-right politicians and anti-labor studio heads use their immense power to crush any people and ideas who might advocate for fair wages, safe working conditions, or stand against bigotry. In a time when segregation was still completely legal, no filmmaker could make an anti-segregation film. In a time when women could not initiate divorce or have their own bank account, no filmmaker could write a story advocating for those rights. In a time when queer people were practically invisible from mainstream society, no filmmaker could openly portray LGBT+ characters. During the hearings, the filmmakers facing the committee were advised by their lawyers to refuse to answer any of the committee's questions on the basis of their First or Fifth Amendment right.
I try not to be political because I know you guys want to fucking break from that shit, but holy goddamn. I mean, I need it too. I need a break from this shit. Check the news and it's just like, you remember that nice thing we have? We're not doing that anymore. And instead, we're giving more money to billionaires. And it's like, okay. And this is good for some reason? Like, how does this work for me? Oh, well, yeah, your phones won't work anymore because we're going to stop doing... I mean, I don't even know what fucking bullshit I can come up with that's the next stupid-ass shit.
I do not think you have the right under the Constitution to ask me such a question.
I believe that I should not engage in any conspiracy with you to invade the First Amendment.
It's very simple to answer the question, and the times when I feel it's proper, I will. But when I wish to stand on my right of association, no, sir, I feel that I must determine as well.
We'll determine when it's proper. You're excused.
They assumed they could take the case to the Supreme Court, where they'd win on appeal.
Yeah, everyone's being forced into politics, kicking and screaming.
The case got to the Supreme Court. 2 of the liberal justices died and were replaced by very conservative justices.
In total, hundreds of people were blacklisted from working in Hollywood. It changed the entire landscape of filmmaking. The anti-union element in Hollywood was able to continue to use their red-baiting tactics to subvert other labor actions.
In 1952, a new writers' union was formed called the Television Writers of America.
I'm radical and incapable of pulling the trigger now how badly I want to. Everyone wants another Luigi, but no one wants to be Mario.
More reactionary element in Hollywood was
We need more Luigis, they say. But they're not willing to do it themselves.
In a quite obvious attempt to split and destroy the union. My appearance before the committee, where I took the first and the fifth, did have the effect of splitting the union right down the middle and destroying it.
Meaningful social messages had to be coded, and blacklisted filmmakers had to work without getting credit. Like Michael Wilson, who had to work uncredited on some of the most successful films of the era, even winning an Oscar for Bridge on the River Kwai, which he wasn't officially awarded until years after his death.
The Guild will have the use and the need of rebels if it is to survive as a union of free riders.
I'm not suggesting anyone go be another Luigi, because they're not going to let it go well twice. But also, I don't want you guys to get hurt.
About working on this video,
and I don't want you guys to hurt people because that's illegal for me to say.
Are using the exact same tactics today. People like Ron DeSantis.
We must wage a war on the woke.
Who staged political theater wrestling matches for clout, like his war against Disney or his Don't Say Gay bills. Calling people cultural Marxists as a stand-in for communists. Saying something is woke, and that means it's bad.
But let me tell you this, get woke, go broke on a massive scale. They are destroying American culture. Activists and cultural Marxist revolutionaries, for those of you that are new to the culture war,
I fucking hate this guy.
She is an insufferable woke lib femme. Get woke, go broke, and you can't deny it.
They say this is...
Hey, you remember how... Okay, wait, hold on. What happened with Tim Pool? Oh, hey, here's like a random article I just pulled up for no reason whatsoever. Well-known right-wing influencers duped to work for covert Russian operation, U.S. prosecutors say. Oh. Is that like a... Well, like who, though? Like, because, like, some of my favorite people... Oh, wait, Pool? Tim Pool? This fucker? Oh, okay, never mind, then. I guess he can't be my fucking Oshi anymore.
Some new threat, but they're lying. This is their history. One of intimidation, bullying, and bigotry. It's all the same stuff, and it's all the same motivations. Money, power, and control.
What, the line about fucking Tim Pool being my Oshi? My God.
And in one way, they are right. Storytelling is a powerful tool. I mean,
it's like the most heinous thing I've said in a while.
Craft fake rags to riches narratives to appeal to the average citizen, even though both of their parents were multimillionaires and they all went to Harvard. Stories do have the power to bring people together, to show us that we're not alone, to strengthen our empathy and expand.
He's the vocals in his... Tim Pool has a band? Is it bad? Oh my God. Oh my God. I will mute it, but what's the name of it? I have to listen to it right now. You guys can't. It's called Tim Cat. Oh. Okay, hold on. I'll let you know when I hit play, but I am going to mute the audio so you guys don't have to hear this too. Tim Cast Band. Tim Cast Only Ever Wanted. So far giving like discount Linkin Park vibes. Lots of reverse Oh, autotune. Oh, so much fucking autotune. Also, just like, not to be that guy, but like, it is like, this is the first song of a Linkin Park cover band that they're like, let's write our own stuff, guys. And they're like, yeah, but you don't really have like Chester singing energy. And Tim was like, no, I got this. Okay, anyway, back to what we were listening to.
Our ideas
like, granted, I cannot sing like Chester because Chester is he was a fucking god at like the range, the breath control, all of that shit. He had fucking on lock. So like, competing with someone as talented as Chester is difficult. It's why the new Linkin Park is actually awful. That and the Scientology thing, but yeah, I miss him too. That still fucks with me.
The world. No wonder heartless ghouls want their fingers in the pie. Back in the day, it launched the careers of people like Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon. Yes, Nixon was on the committee.
Oh, there
and
he
just
is.
Look at some of the storytellers on the right today. Ben Shapiro is a failed screenwriter. Michael Knowles is a failed actor. Steven Crowder and Dave Rubin are both failed stand-up comedians. And that's just off the top of my head.
He worked on Arthur, though. Surely that's something. Yeah, the new singer for Linkin Park, the female singer, is a Scientologist. And then they did a bunch of AI shit, which makes me really fucking like I don't know, man.
All of them wanted the glitz and...
Also, fun fact, there was a Tim Pool reference in the March of the Mice. Everyone fucking hated him, which was hilarious to me. Everyone was like, get the fuck out of here, shut up. And I was like, yeah. Everyone understood the assignment. I believe it's the last episode. He's got a beanie and his name is Tim. It's pretty fucking explicit. And just like he was for me, he was involved in a political movement that I was, and it's just like, why the fuck are you here, actually?
Glamour without realizing that working in a creative field takes years and years of hard work and dedication, often with very little pay and very
And this
little
was back
recognition.
before they had like
All the
safety
world's a
standards.
stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. And no matter what part you play, I argue, you deserve a living wage.
America the beautiful forever.
I forgot to turn you off. You still going? What have you been teaching these kids?
Like, the Tim Pool reference was very much meant as a, like, do you get where I'm going with this, y'all? It was like the last, like, real check. Yeah, the DMC show is of Elma. Unfortunately, I think that's probably true. I was excited because, I mean, like, the what was it? Keep Rolling? Like, that was, like, an awesome intro song. And then they got some Evanescence for it, too. I'm like, yeah, actually. I'm digging the AMV vibes, but then they're like, yeah, 9/11's in it, and it's done by demons. And I'm like, that's not horrifying. That's not horrifying to demonize.
Respect their elders and overlords.
To be clear, Al-Qaeda sucks. You know?
She's hotter, so I guess we should listen to her.
And American mayo is better than Cuban mayo.
Oh, okay, where's Blug? Blasphemous. And since we're talking about artists creating important work, I want to tell you about Mubi, the curated streaming service dedicated to showcasing fantastic
You can get a Bipple.
cinema from all
You can
around
get it
the
on
globe.
tablet.
Right now, my watch list on Mubi looks a lot like a
You can get it
House
on Mubi.
American Activities Committee blacklist.
You can watch it
though
on
it's still around
Phablet.
today. I'm especially excited to watch Ira Sachs' new romantic drama,
It's on Poob.
Passages. It stars one of my favorite actors, Ben Whishaw, and it's about bi boys navigating the complexities of fluid relationships. Perfect for a cozy autumn afternoon, because if you cry your mascara off, you're not going anywhere afterwards anyways. With my link below, Mubi.com/mmfish, you'll get to try Mubi for free for 30
Why is
days.
it in,
And signing up helps to support my channel. It's a win-win-win-win situation. We all win. Mubi's curation is top notch, and it's one of the few
Why is
streaming
it
film
vertical?
sites where the descriptions and reviews are actually helpful. Now finding something to watch is easy instead of exhausting, because every time I log on, there are new gems to discover right on the homepage. Whether you're a movie newbie or a certified film buff, Mubi is a great way to find hand-picked filmmaker retrospectives, double features, and iconic indies. So sign up at Mubi.com/mmfish. That's Mubi.com/mmfish. And get your month of great cinema for free. Mubi.com/mmfish. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching.
I kinda
And
wanna-
an extra special thank you to all my patrons and everyone watching over
Oh.
on Nebula. If you'd like to directly support me making more videos like this, consider
Hi, I'm Old Norse Specialist Dr. Jackson Crawford. The most complicated and prestigious style of poetry.
I got a
in
list
the
of
Old
stuff,
Norse
Twing
world
Master. We got to get
is
through some of this
Scottish
before
poetry,
my wife gets home.
and in particular the substyle called Drotkveit. I'm going to read you an imitation stanza in English and then tell you how to do it if you want to compose poetry like a Viking.
Okay.
The offendable finds a feud, and it's imbued with power, wholly healing. Here, now things are clearer. Now to knock heads, break some necks, take their stuff and wreck it. Bring great pain to punish, pleased to have a reason.
I caught one rhyme in there. What's the rhyme
In
scheme?
odd lines, notice that the second to last syllable is stressed, followed by an unstressed syllable. So the last two syllables
I'm
are
horribly
short
at poetry.
poetic language. They go duh, duh. So a word like sinner or aspen or boulder would be a trochee. Now,
Okay.
that second to last syllable, the stressed syllable, ends in odd lines with the same.
I know poetry doesn't have to rhyme. I was like, okay, so we're not doing a rhyming thing. So like, what's the thing we're doing? Like similar to like haikus, they don't rhyme. They just have a certain like syllable count. Refrigerator. Yes, yes, refrigerator. Refrigerator being one of my favorites.
Consonants as another stressed syllable in the line, and we have 6 syllables total in the line. So notice in line 1 it's find and fend. It doesn't matter if you have an S at the end.
Oh, okay.
And then line 3, heal and hole. And then line 5, break and knock. And then line 7, pun and pain.
Break and knock have wait, what? I thought it was alliterations. The fuck?
Knock, hole. And then line 5, line 3, heal and hole.
In odd lines, the second to last syllable ends with the same consonant as another stressed syllable in the line.
Hole. And then line 5, break and knock. And then line 7, pun and pain. Now,
oh, knock break. The ending of it. It's not about the beginning. It's not alliteration. It's just find, feud, imbued. Okay, yeah, sure.
On even lines, second to last syllable, that stressed syllable is going to completely rhyme with another stressed syllable.
Here and clear.
So notice in line 2, it's bued, feud. In line 4, it's clear, here.
Hey, Anna, how you doing?
In line 6, it's wreck, neck. Again, the S at the end can be ignored. And then in line 8, it's rees, please. That D at the end can be ignored. So inflectional endings, like the S of English, present tense finds or plural.
Is there a reason you're doing this outside, by the way? It's just cooler.
As opposed to present tense please, that can be ignored. Now, we also alliterate. 2 stressed syllables in the odd line. Alliterate.
Here, hold on one second. I need to put a +2 in chat. Okay, there we go.
First stressed syllable, the first syllable at all, of the following even line. So fend finds feud in 1, 2.
No one else was gonna do it, so I'm like, I'm giving myself 2 points for that
3,
one.
4. Now knock next in 5 and 6. Notice I'm ignoring the K that we don't actually say in knock. And then pain, pun, pleased in 7, 8. Now, if you can follow all those rules,
absolutely cannot.
8 lines, 6 syllables, you too can write a Drochtkite poem and be a Viking poet.
Okay. I'll come back?
すみません。こんにちは。私は失いました。どこ道？やれやれ。年はさせけなうとというた。
Kenali ngai bode. Toshiba. Konnichiwa. Itadakimasu.
やれやれ。死んで。バカ野郎。この野郎。死んで。
ありがとうございます。なんかちょっと話そう。
お前は。
What the fuck? What is this? Learn Japanese in 15 days meme. What the fuck? They're missing the subtitles for the joke? Yeah, the stuff they're shouting is just sort of like phrases you might know if you took a little bit of Japanese. Like the yare yare. Come inside. Itadakimasu, let's go! Oh, hey, thank you. Now hurry up.
I got a pair of Jinko jeans. Let's see how much we can fit in these back pockets.
How old is Chad, and are you aware of Jinko jeans? Yeah, he kept saying like, oh, thank you, and like, let's hurry up, and like, my name is this, and like, shit like that. Some of chat was not aware of Jinko jeans. Wear those jeans? I've never had a pair. I was not cool enough to have Jinko jeans. I wore trip pants. Oof. I never had cool pants. I've only ever worn jeans, really.
Pockets. Discman and headphones.
Yeah. The important things.
2000.
Of course.
My entire Pogs collection.
Hell yeah.
VTech, cordless.
Nice.
Pyramid CD.
I don't know what that one is. Yeah.
Lisa Frank notebook.
Yeah.
Billboard Down on VHS. Model Behavior on Blu-ray.
On
My
Blu-ray.
Dear Diary.
Oh yeah.
Braid.
Oh my god, that thing. I remember that shit.
Yak Back. Bedazzled T-Mobile Sidekick. Cool Pix camera. Love
You have other pockets.
iZone camera.
My god.
Bubble Beeper gum. Tamagotchi.
Why is she whispering?
Sand art.
Fucking sand art. Oh, that thing.
Bath and Body Works art stuff. Dream Atmos. iPod. Baby G Watch.
You could probably wear that one. Bop it.
A yo-yo. A lava lamp.
Bop it. Tug it. See, when I put stuff in my pants just end up falling down. I was aware of all these things. Hey, Android, how you doing? Doom PDF. Oh? Oh. You can run Doom on anything, man. Oh, hit clips? I'm doing all right. You just missed Political Hour with Rev. We've moved on to do not politics. I mean, this is cute. I'm not going to watch the whole video, but it's cute.
For the brightest colors always. What the? Uh-oh.
Yeah! I had a Snuggly as like a plushie growing up.
Using battle tanks for Nintendo 64. Explosive tank
That
action
reference.
for up to 4 players.
That was the what? The toilet paper bear? Or is it? No, it was for laundry soap or something.
You guys have the golden arches. We don't. Our McDonald's is this. This is absolutely real. The mayor says, all right, we will allow you to be here, but you have very strict regulations. One of those is you cannot have your own standalone building because this is a historical city. Also, you cannot put up big, ugly arches. You are allowed to advertise, but you can advertise the same way we all do, with signs. And this was the answer. It was this.
Freeport, Maine. I can go there. I love her fucking aesthetic, by the way. Like, the fact that Mike got her on was cool. That was great.
There.
You're a rock concert person. You're originally from Muncie, Indiana. You don't like height. Your obsession is Phantom of the Opera. You're a puzzle person, and you're a vinyl record person, but you haven't done time in Sing Sing. You're the vice principal of a school. You were born in Germany. You're a bike rider. You're a crime buff. You teach people how to play chess. You love watching mixed martial arts. And you want to be off the grid. You play in a band. You're an event coordinator. And you've written a couple of books. You're one of these foragers. You're a festive person. You keep reptiles. You're one of these sustainable people. You're learning Korean. And a fitness instructor, too. You're a big dog fan. You're a hammocker. You play guitar. You play golf.
A hammocker?
A mascot. You're very single. Your dad was in the army.
Yeah. Wow. Dude, Pat Sajak, you could not just be throwing someone on the bus like that. You are so fucking single. Very single is fucking harsh.
You're one of these radio contest people. You went to culinary school. You've met several astronauts. You're a horseshoe person. You're a linguist, too. And you also have a twin.
Okay, thank you.
In February 2021, a winter storm that swept through Texas caused one of the most severe power crises in American history.
I'd hate to be
the
them.
cold weather created shockingly high electricity demands as people tried to keep their homes warm. But it also caused problems with the power supply because power plants themselves and their supporting infrastructure weren't adequately protected against freezing weather. The result was that Texas couldn't...
We watched this one. We did watch this one. Yeah, it was bad. Is this the one where... Okay, this one's different. I thought it was gonna be Daru. On the Discord. I'm the man with the plan, cause the power's in my head and the power's in my hand. Down with Zelda. Oh, okay. I was gonna skip it, but it's over. Kick assisted coupling. There you go. What is the Cybertruck looking fucker in the back? I'm sorry, I can't show the next couple of seconds on stream, it's too explicit. Oh yeah. I did anyway. Or I forget people actually do want to fuck trains.
Kitty, what are you doing?
Sitting.
Not up here, you're not. Get down.
No.
Sylvester, how would you like it if I went and sat in your kitty food bowl? I mean, we have to eat off of this table.
And?
And get off the freaking table!
No!
Damn it. So we're all moved into our new house, and everybody's adjusting just fine, except for Sylvester, whose attitude is now 10 times. Do you want a bath?
No.
Aw, come on, Sylvester.
Now you can be as clever as Ken.
Oh my god, I forgot about this fucking video.
Stop drooling on me. Stop drooling on me.
It even has speed control.
Hi, kids. We're home early.
Hi, kids. We're home early. Tiger's new
How does that sound anything like your parents? Your parents are fucking haunted.
Look for Home Alone 2, available now on video.
Bam! Ryan?
Oh, we have that rice. And what? The crack lady washes her rice? Are you gonna call me fucking insane now? You see that shit? She washed it.
Let's make crack today.
Look at it. Look at her wash this fucking rice. She puts the rice in. You see this step right here? That's her washing it. Who doesn't wash their rice? Lots of people in this chat. Lots of people in this chat do not wash their rice because they're fucking gross. A lot of people don't wash their fucking veggies either. I found out a lot of things about y'all.
Mirror. The vortex. Tap with the sauce. Clean spam can.
Oh, that's clever.
Looking good.
It's actually pretty good.
Welcome back to Bake Baking, the show where I try to bake something while bake. Today's episode, tiramisu, greatest dessert ever invented. First, I gotta make some dang coffee. Boom. Get a measure like a cup and a half. A tablespoon.
Is he actually high?
Stir, stir, stir.
His eyes don't look like it.
I'm gonna pour it in here. Just go
He's just
with it. We set this aside to cool down a little bit. Next, we gotta make the filling. We got cooking wine.
Yeah, it tastes like shit.
Nope. I mean, it tastes good in the thing, but we just reduce that for a second.
Yeah.
And over here, I need to separate 5 eggs.
He sounds like you a few years ago?
2,
Okay.
3,
But it's
4,
baked baking. He's supposed to be high.
Sugar. And we just go whip these together. I never use this. Start off gentle. I can pour this in.
Oh man, I really don't want him to use half the things he's using if he's actually high.
Water. And we whip this baby up for like 10 whole minutes. Boom. Can you believe that used to be egg? Like 10 seconds ago? Bigger bowl. It's cheesing time. Mascarpone.
Okay, no, he's high. I see his eyes now.
Bean paste. Salt. And we could just use this.
Bake a cake while high for a charity incentive. I can't do that for charity.
Because I saw that button while I was doing it, and I was like, I wonder what that does. Fuck.
Weed is legal in Maine, yes.
Impulsive thoughts win. Okay, don't go pressing buttons. That's okay, because now we're adding...
I don't think that's safe. I would probably get seriously injured. Rev still sounds high today. I just sound like this, man.
We combine.
Twitch doesn't like you getting blazed?
Together, like
I think you have to use things responsibly.
Boom. Lady fingers. That's what ladyfinger looks like. Ladies, can you confirm? Okay, so we just give it quick dip.
Yeah.
You don't want too much. Just a little dip.
They look like cheese sticks.
Our mixture is smooth that down. And why don't we just do that again? Everybody had such fun the first time. Slap the rest of this shit on there. Right on top. There it is. She has to go in the fridge overnight.
No, I'm aware of what a ladyfinger is. It's that,
Guess
sort
what?
of.
I made one last night. You think I'm an amateur? I came prepared. Chocolate bar. You just give this a dusty atop.
Probably should have put some paper towels down to... It looked pretty legit.
Look at that fat slice of tiramisu. Fluffy layers of mascarpone. Ladyfingers soaked in coffee. Chocolate atop. That's as good as it gets.
Oh man, that's really not that hard. It's tiramisu, yeah.
Oh shit. That's one of the best tiramisus I've ever had.
It's because you're high.
Creamy. Coffee,
Probably tastes really fucking good right now.
Mamma mia. I did it.
Yeah.
Hemorrhoids. They burn.
Hemorrhoids.
Itch. Swell. And hurt. And what do more doctors recommend to stop the hurting? No, not that one. This one.
No, never heard.
Recommend Anusol to soothe, relieve,
According to a
and
recent
comfort
survey.
than all other brands of hemorrhoid medicine combined. Anusol is the word to remember for relief.
Okay.
Grandma, what big ears you have.
Why, all the better to get showtimes and tickets, what I call movie phone, my dear.
Hello and welcome to AOL Movie
Why has he got
Phone.
tits?
Grandma, what big chunky fingers you have.
Why, all the better to click with when I want reviews, showtimes, or tickets from moviephone.com, my dear.
Grandma, what a big...
Look, honey, do you want to go to the movies or don't you?
Visit MoviePhone.com or America Online keyword Movie Phone.
Did you know? If you put a wooden spoon on your pot while it's boiling, the pot spoon water will the spill water pot. The boiling pot water steam spoon wood.
Yeah.
Why do they call it oven when you oven the cold food of out hot eat the food?
A film that's illegal to watch?
And one of the coolest projects I've ever seen is when the creator of Billy and Mandy pitched an R-rated puppet film that's currently illegal and would end careers if it was ever released.
What?
And in case you don't know anything about it, this is the story of Dead Meat.
Okay, hold up. I gotta go pee, and then I need to watch this. 1 minute, BRB. I don't get the oven if it's in whatever thing. Hello? Hi, boy. Can I have my chair back? Okay, I'll go get water, and then I'm taking my chair back, okay?
You are a very special boy.
Oh. All right. What you got? Pick up a boy. Grab a boy. Hello. I love you. You gonna sit in my lap while we watch things? Maybe. I believe he knows what mirrors are. Abby doesn't. Abby gets really fucking concerned. Herman is, I think, part ragdoll or something, because you can just pick him up and he's like, I guess I'm being picked up. Abby is not. Abby is very upset, like very concerned about being picked up.
Dead Meat was the passion project of Maxwell Adams, the creator of The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. If you're on the younger side of millennials or the older side of Gen Z, then you don't even need me to tell
you guys can't
what
see.
Billy
Hold
and
on.
Mandy was. But if you somehow don't know, The Grim Adventures of Billy and
This
Mandy
is a great
was
show.
hit show on Cartoon Network in the early 2000s. Billy and Mandy's a cartoon classic, and for good reason. It had great characters, it was funny as hell, and compared
I
to
didn't
some
like
of the
Billy.
other lighthearted cartoons at the time, Billy and Mandy had such an edge to it that just made it so cool and unique. It was the type of show that your parents hated, which made you love it even more. Maxwell Adams has said that he based the show both off the good times of his childhood and the nightmares too.
When you were first starting off with stuff like Billy and Mandy back in the day, like when you got the opportunity to make that show, was it like at the front of your mind to be like, well, I'm going to take all this stuff that like quote unquote traumatized me as a child from movies and stuff and kind of put it in?
Are you aware that Mandy's voice actor did fan dubs of Homestuck? No, that checks out though. That is the voice. Honestly, if I was going to hire someone to do a Homestuck animation, she would be a good pick actually.
Into that?
Yeah, absolutely. That was sort of the whole point, I guess. Yeah, I just wanted to take all this stuff that scared the crap out of me and make fun of it, but also kind of legitimately share it with other people as well.
Maxwell Adams here hits on a note that I don't think a lot of people, myself included, have
It's
ever
not
really
illegal.
thought about.
Ah.
Not just the types of fear, but the very feelings of fear that you have in adulthood are night and day different than the feelings of fear that you had in childhood. Most adults would be scared to walk down a dark alley by themselves, mostly out of a realistic fear of another person, but nothing in adulthood even comes close to the type of dread you felt when you were a kid and you really did think that there was a monster living in your closet.
Rents due, and you just straight up cannot get more money. Hard disagree on that.
Or underneath your bed.
I remember I cried so badly during the Chud movie trailer commercial that my parents came in and they were really concerned and they made me watch it like 4 times just so I could understand that it wasn't real. And I just kept crying and crying. And it was Chud. I eventually saw that like 2 years ago. Amazing. Just in that it's so
I do
not
need to see
horrifying,
that.
and the monster is just like this bad puppet.
Billy and Mandy's a comedy show first and foremost, and it's mostly remembered for its good writing. But I think what I love most about Billy and Mandy is just how well it captured both of those feelings. Maxwell Adams was really not afraid to scare his young audience.
Okay, how is he legal?
When he wanted to.
And you will be my closest, most bestest friend of all.
Yeah, I kind of had like I kind of felt like it was cool over traumatic or scary.
Has sold 5 different shows to networks, none of which have ever seen the light of day, either because they get
Illegal
canceled.
to watch. So like child pornography or like what's illegal to watch? What can't I watch? I'd have to pirate it? I mean, I guess if you pirate it. That's the illegal bit isn't.
Or they get placed on the back burner where they reside forever. Maxwell Adams, understandably pissed off at major networks, decides to take his next project in a different direction.
But it wouldn't be
Thus,
illegal
the
for me to
Deadmeat
watch.
Kickstarter was born.
Hey, I'm Maxwell Adams, creator of Cartoon Network's Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Evil Con Carne, and Underfist.
Oh, I
And I'm
forgot
here to
about
talk
Evil
to you
Con
about
Carne.
something I'm super passionate about.
Mexican food? Ooh, please tell me it's Mexican food.
Dead Meat was to be an R-rated puppet film about a mercenary named Heck and his mutant dog, Dead Meat, surviving together in a post-apocalyptic Los Angeles. Dead Meat is a sweethearted dog, much the opposite of his immoral
Kind of
killer owner,
a
Heck.
wander.
Among their travels, they pick up a mutant named Suzuki Jackson, who's prophesized to unite all mutants and end the human race. Chasing after them is Claude, an old enemy of Hex and an officer of the Conglomerate, a paramilitary state that's hunting after Suzuki. There's comedy, action, car chases, bar shootouts. It's just one awesome looking movie. You also got to give it to him. We don't get a lot of R-rated puppet movies. And the
That's
ones
true.
we do get are usually terrible.
Dead Meat is definitely an R-rated web series. That means exploding puppets, gross-out jokes galore, and dialogue taken straight from a sailor's mouth. But don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch episode after episode of nothing but puppet gore. That's one of the features of Dead Meat, but it's not the whole tamale.
Real quick, I know I'm calling it a movie, but it was originally pitched as a web series. But at some point, everyone was just saying it should be a movie, and Maxwell Adams seemed to agree with them at some point, so yeah, it's a movie. Kickstarter is always a risky gambit, but Maxwell Adams has a real good track record to gathering audiences' attentions. In fact, the only reason Billy and Mandy ever premiered at all was because it won a Cartoon Network contest to be its next featured show.
Oh, wow.
With flying colors. In a weird way, Maxwell Adams' entire career is based off knowing what audiences want better than producers do. Within a month, Dead Meat had raised $56,000 from over 1,000 contributors, which is crazy successful for Kickstarter.
My God.
Success was guaranteed from here on out.
In vain.
Oh yeah, we're all dead meat.
Dead Meat started off strong with a killer confirmed cast. Dana Snyder was to play Dead Meat.
A number?
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
say,
bet you
who
do
is
a
that voice? But that is Shake.
number in your tights on Broadway, which is where you moved to after you left Texas Chainsaw Mascara.
And Josh Sussman was to play Claude.
I got to work with Maxwell Adams for 3 seasons on Fishhooks. This is the first time he ever invited me to lunch.
Oh my God.
Although it starts to seem like Maxwell
Fishhooks.
underestimated just how much it would cost to make the project. See, $56,000 might seem like a lot, but
It's
for
not,
a
no.
feature-length movie, it's really not.
No.
Napoleon Dynamite is a low-budget movie that was barely able to squeeze by on a budget of $400,000. The Blair Witch Project, a film made on basically
Fish
nothing.
Hooks was a really, like, I think it was a Disney animation about fish going to school. It was like, you know, high school, middle school kind of drama and jokes.
Still took around $30,000 to $65,000 just to film. Kevin Smith was just barely able to make Clerks in 1994, a film mostly at a convenience store he already worked at, and sold his massive comic book collection just to get the funds to complete. Still took him $25,500 just to make the movie. Normally, filmmakers without funds either just make a short film just to release or just as a proof of concept. But since this Kickstarter promised a full-length movie,
it was very
that
different
really
than
wasn't
SpongeBob.
an option for Maxwell. Maxwell Adams
Nine Inch
seemed
Nails.
at some point to realize the money he raised was not going to be enough. So what now? Well, the movie is mainly made with puppets and miniatures, so at the very least there isn't a small time frame by which everything needs to get filmed. So, at the very least, planning accordingly, Maxwell can film what he has and then use whatever money he saves up in the future to continuously make the film. This was going to be a much more time-consuming, lengthier version of making the movie, but as Maxwell Adams himself said perfectly, in the triad of time, money, and quality, one has to suffer. And Maxwell chose time. So, years went by, and over the years, Maxwell did provide plenty of footage and behind the scenes, both to show that Dead Meat was still progressing and that Dead Meat wasn't just some scam where he was running off with everybody's money. We got footage of the rundown VW bus that they tracked down to film Riot Maker. We got footage of the entire miniature city that apparently Maxwell Adams built all himself by hand. I mean, holy shit. Maxwell is still working at Warner Brothers through a lot of this, but over the years, Maxwell released so much footage that shows that him and his friends are still working thoroughly on Dead Meat throughout all these years. And his work was definitely paying off. I mean, the miniatures and cars look fantastic.
Yeah, they look great.
The puppets look...
They're puppets.
Good. I mean, it's no We Are Animals, but they do work for the goofier tone that Maxwell was going for, and what his budget would allow. Maxwell describes working on this almost every day for 7 years. He described losing friends, lovers, and job opportunities in order to make this. And the longer the project took, the more he slowly drove himself insane. The more he says he started to use the project as an excuse just to ruin his life. But like a giant slab of marble, Dead Meat would slowly but surely be chiseled into a masterpiece. Flash forward to November 2019. Maxwell is now at the position to finally film the scenes that require human actors. And the scene that Maxwell apparently had to talk himself into letting his own house get wrecked in order to film.
Wow.
I can only imagine that he's talking about this scene. I mean, this is a post-apocalyptic bar that I'm guessing is Maxwell's real house.
It was when I first met. The first time I met you was the day that you were like, "I need people to come fuck up my house."
Yeah, the graffiti's actually all still there, and I've been meaning to ask, did you do the bug person?
I don't think I did that one. Maybe I did. I wrote the word poop above your door.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's awesome.
It's a gritty patchwork shelter that leads into an epic shootout between Heck, Claude, and the mutants. I'm not sure why he chose his own house here instead of just like, I don't know, a place on Pier Space or something, but whatever. These scenes were going to be expensive and demanding, but definitely the most showcasey. But after filming some of these hella expensive scenes, the mother of all bad revelations revealed itself.
It's shit?
Maxwell was working with a few decently bigger actors who were also part of SAG. The Screen Actors Guild. And not only were their contracts expensive, but Maxwell learned way too late that it's also illegal to film with mixed SAG actors and non-SAG actors.
Oh.
Meaning that everything Maxwell just spent 2 months filming was now illegal
Can you make them
and illegal to show people. Okay, so after talking...
So the reason for that is that you want to make sure that everyone's got like union shit going on. Because without the union, then there's not a. I mean, we just watched a thing on why the union would be important.
Talking to a few people, the legality on it is a bit more complicated than that. It's not against California.
I have no legal
state
background.
law,
Everything I'm
but
saying
SAG
should, yeah.
strictly prohibits mixing SAG and non-SAG actors. And any actors that were part of the Screen Actors Guild who appeared in the film could easily get barred for life from SAG, depending on how successful Dead Meat became. There are also some potential contracts that, if Maxwell signed, would make it illegal to release the film without SAG's permission.
Could
There
they
are
do
some
that?
very niche conditions by which it would be okay to mix both.
Could you just go? Yeah, we reshot it because those guys weren't. And now they're full union, and then just not do that. Just pay them like for a week where they just like come and hang out at your house. There's no fucking evidence one way or another. As long as everyone shuts the fuck up, it's fine.
SAG and non-SAG actors, but even as low budget as Dead Meat was, it doesn't.
Well, okay, so the reason that it's an issue is they want to make sure that people are part of the union, because otherwise you can get like scabs going, you know? Like, oh, well, we don't feel like actually working with you, so yeah. It's pretty fucking reasonable to not want to spend the money on this. Like, it may be outside of his like ability to spend. Like, $50,000 is like very little money, you know, for a movie.
Qualify for any of them, and even if it did, there would be heavy.
There's like
rules
no
on how it
bad
could be
guys here.
distributed.
It's just
But
like
I don't know
shit.
what contracts he signed, so I can't say on any of that for sure. Either way, not having the funds to reshoot all that essential footage, it was a devastating decision, no doubt. But Maxwell ultimately decided not to continue the project anymore. On January
He probably should have
22nd,
looked into that, yeah.
2020, Maxwell Adams announced on Kickstarter that Dead Meat couldn't go any further. He released the full script online for anyone to
Wow.
read and offered all the backers a full refund. A lot of which refusing to take it, saying they were just sorry this happened to him. His fans were a lot more interested in
That's
Maxwell
pretty fucking
taking
cool.
care of himself at this point than giving any more flesh and blood to this movie. But since the movie isn't coming out anytime soon, and let's be honest, you're not reading that script anytime soon either, I thought I'd just give you an overview of the story and its events and everything that happens. Think of this like Schmoop, except you don't have an exam coming up. All right, you ready?
Is
Here we
Schmoop?
go. Intro, title card. We open up on some establishing shots of a radioactive, destroyed Los Angeles, where we meet our protagonist, Heck, who's currently being tortured in the basement of what used to be a Beverly Hills mansion. He's being electrocuted by some mutant cockroaches, and right when they're about to cut his dick off, Dead Meat bursts in the door wearing an awful cockroach costume. But when the act doesn't get them to budge, Dead Meat rips off the costume and explains that Heck's his master and his best friend, and that he's a really cool guy underneath it all, and that he promises not to get revenge if you free him. When the cockroaches are fooled, they untie Heck, only for him to immediately begin killing them in puppety gore. They begin walking through corridors.
No, I wanna see what it
until they
is. I
find
like
another
the-
prisoner,
this isn't
Suzuki
filler.
Jackson. Heck knows Suzuki and knows that she has a bounty worth a fortune, but before he can shoot her, Dead Meat body blocks, insisting that they take her in alive. And since Dead Meat just saved Heck from having his dick ripped off, he reluctantly agrees. Heck's driving to take her back in his post-apocalyptic Volkswagen bus, Riot Maker. But on the way home, Heck
I love
gets
the riot
pulled over
shield.
by a conglomerate officer named Claude. The conglomerate are like a weird mix of government, religion, corporations, and media. Basically,
Oh, that's really. He's got the taped on extra mag. That, I mean, it's not taped on. It looks like it's magnetic or something. But that's a cute little note like thing.
anything that can brainwash people. Oh, and since they're all those things mixed together, they're called the conglomerate. I see what you did there, Max. Claude and Heck have some heavy history that isn't explained yet, but Claude makes vague threats to Heck about how it's a death penalty to be harboring mutants. Claude also talks about Suzuki Jackson and how she's the most dangerous mutant alive since she's prophesized to unite all mutants under one banner and hunt humanity into extinction. He fails to notice the two mutants in the bus and lets Heck go for now. But when Heck gets back into his car, he finds Dead Meat and Suzuki making out. Over the next few days, the gang meets a few new characters, and Dead Meat and Suzuki begin growing closer and closer to each other, much to the dismay of Heck, who feels his control over Dead Meat loosening. We get a quick flashback to the before the war and see Heck really treating Dead Meat like garbage. In fact, we also learn that Dead Meat's real name is Randy, and that Heck's just been calling him Dead Meat because he's an asshole. Heck visits a bar called the Lick Room, but while he's there, Claude bursts in and confronts him about holding Suzuki. While this happens, a gang of hella tough mutants named the Cabazon bursts
This is pretty
also
cool.
looking for Suzuki. Tensions rise, a shootout follows in which Claude and Heck just barely make it out alive. And yes, this is the scene that destroyed Maxwell Adams' house.
Awesome.
When Heck gets back, he finds his car gone and a note from Dead Meat saying he's no longer interested in turning in Suzuki, and that she and him have run off together. Heck, not taking the news well, follows after them in Macmillan's car. The finale is a giant epic car battle between Heck, Dead Meat, the mutants, and the conglomerate.
I'm
And let me
absolutely
tell you,
getting
this battle
copyright claim
goes
for
on a
any
while.
of these videos.
At the end, basically everyone dies except Suzuki and Dead Meat. But when
By the way, this... Hi. Mad Max was fucking rad. I didn't see the second one, but that one was good.
Heck's about to die, Dead Meat leaves Suzuki for him, and they go out together in a blaze of glory against the conglomerate.
Can we just get beyond the Thunderdome? Nah.
I've been a Kickstarter lurker for a long time, and Dead Meat is definitely one of the coolest and most interesting projects I've ever seen.
Fury Road slaps,
And
yeah.
despite
That was...
clearly
I
underestimating
got
how much
so
money it
excited. I
cost
ran
to
into
make
the other
movie,
room when my
Maxwell
wife
Adams'
was like...
commitment to
I watched it by
completing it is
myself because it's
nothing
not
less
not
of
wife material.
You can
Not what she
literally
likes to
look through
watch.
Years of
And,
BTS footage of Maxwell Adams trying everything under the sun to make this movie work, only to find out the footage he was shooting was illegal due to some nonsense law. It's also very admirable of Maxwell to offer a full refund.
That was
when
wild
he knew
of
he didn't
him.
have the funds to finish the movie. I wouldn't be encouraging Maxwell Adams to continue any further with the Dead Meat, as I think it's taken enough of a toll on his soul and well-being. But I would also hope that this hasn't discouraged Maxwell Adams, or anybody for that matter, to give up on art entirely. Maxwell seems to be in a better place now, but the
Love you
idea that
too.
he views the time he dedicated into this project as a waste just makes me so sad. So Maxwell, if you're out there, I know you don't know me, but I wanted you to know that I thought Dead Meat was awesome. So take care of yourself, and I can't wait to see what
The
you come
aesthetic
up with
reminds me a lot of Full Throttle. If anyone remembers that one. The I think it was LucasArts. This guy specifically, hold on. Full Throttle game. Like, it's got a very similar kind of vibe. You know? I always forget that the chat's right there, but yeah. Kind of the same vibe. I was convinced this like demo disc that I had that had like a like video of this actually had some like gameplay that I could do, and so I tried playing this game so many times, could never get around to it. It just didn't work that way because it was a video, not a game. But I thought if I did something right, I could play the game. Okay. I do think I want to go see my wife. We have more shit to watch. We can watch more of this, or we can do some just like other stuff. Like we could do show rev things tomorrow. I know I was supposed to do it today, but Shadow was like, hey, there's a whole bunch of like videos you haven't watched. And I'm like, yeah, we should probably watch those before they like stop being relevant. I really wish that the Was it Emma Fish one was not relevant? Yeah, I told him to do that, to add them to the playlist, because like, yeah, it would be good if it was like all, because like some of these were just like, you didn't, they were not necessary to be their own thing. You know what I mean? Like some of these are not show rev thing. It's just like people were trying to skip the line or whatever. And I'm like, let's combine them. It's fine. Mixing it up can be fun. Yeah. So I think we'll do like show rev stuff tomorrow. So like not videos necessarily. They can be, but maybe some other stuff. And yeah, probably not fully intentionally. But they just want to see me react to a thing. So they send it. I feel bad about dead meat. That sucks. And sorry about getting no, I'm not. Sorry for reminding you of the world. I know a lot of people trying to avoid remembering that. Myself included, but it is what it is. Anyway, I should check and see if there's any art. Give me half a second to check that real quick. But what was your favorite bit, chat? Or, yeah, even what is your least favorite bit? Don't see any new art. Who are you rating? I know Andre and Limes are both live. Really hated the dino rap. Yeah, no. Any of the ones I skipped were repugnant. The Tim Pool Oshi line was my favorite / least favorite. Give us the furry. By occasionally talking about the world, you're showing that this is a safe place for your viewers. It's the Nazi bar thing in reverse, you know? I make it very clear on my beliefs. So that kicks some people out. They don't want to be here, you know? Because they don't feel safe. It just filters out a lot of people, unfortunately, sometimes. But I'd rather have a small community of like good people, if that's what it is, you know. But anyway, I have more work to do on my game. I barely got any writing done today, but I did get some animation stuff done, and I might have to do a workaround for it. I might have to hand animate that shit or something, because like animating it is just not working. Oh god, yeah. Like I said, like the other day, and Try agreed with me. A majority of streamers are very like, I don't know, toxic and are into like mean girl shit. You know, the Cinder thing is just like, yeah, I've definitely seen more than one person do that exact kind of shit. Are you kidding me? It's just common. I liked Fire Emblem. I know that Try doesn't, but I liked it. A wine net catches poisonous fish too. That's true. Yeah. I guess that's the other way of looking at it. But I mean, like, it depends on how surface level you want to be with what you're doing. If there's nothing behind the work you do, then it doesn't matter if everyone appeals to it. That's why, you know, so many movies are appealing to so many different people, because they don't fucking mean anything. They're not about anything. They're not anything. I liked Fire Emblem well enough. I just didn't finish it. You know, I'd have to restart at this point, because it's been like literally like since Awakening came out. So I don't remember what the fuck was going on in that game. $13 years? Yeah, it's been a minute. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, it's going to be a bit of a random time. I've got a haircut tomorrow, so I definitely won't be here at 11. But we will be back with more content tomorrow. When I blue skeet and tweet about it. Be on the Discord and follow me on Blue Sky, and then you'll know when that is. All right, I'll see you.